Maynard, do you see what I see?
Sure.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that the most gorgeous thing you ever saw?
The statue of the founder, S. Peter Pryor? That old geezer with the beard? Beautiful? Oh, you're joshing, Dobe.
No, Maynard.
I mean, he's like handsome, and he's like attractive. I mean, you could even call him something else, but beautiful, Dobe? No, Dobe.
Maynard.
No, still, maybe you're right. Yeah, he is beautiful. It's the beard that does it. Beards, let's face it, Dobe, beards are the prettiest thing a person can grow. True?
Maynard, I'm talking about that girl.
Girl? She ain't got no beard, Dobe.
Maynard, goodbye.
Hey, Dobie, wait. You promised you'd take me to the zoo and see all them lions and tigers and monkeys and cute little snakes and cute little alligators and cute little pandas and
Hey,
cute
she's leaving. Have a good time at the zoo, Maynard.
Miss! Oh, miss! Ow!
Oh, you poor boy. You poor boy. Are you all right, poor boy?
No, it's nothing. Just a flesh wound.
Can I get you anything?
No, my dear. Just keep stroking.
Of course, poor boy.
My name's Dobie Gillis.
Shouldn't I go for a doctor?
Gillis, Dobie Gillis. That's
Maybe
my
I
name.
could get you a cold pack.
Gillis, Dobie Gillis.
Hot cake?
What's your name?
Sally Bean, some bandages, liniment, iodine.
Sally Bean.
Isn't there anything I can do?
As a matter of fact, there is.
Just name it, poor boy.
Hey, you can have dinner with me tonight.
Of course, of course.
Oh, wonderful. What time should I pick you up?
Let's see, the other boy's coming at 7. You be there at 6:45.
The other boy?
My other dinner date.
You mean you already have a date for dinner?
I just told you. Are you sure you didn't hurt your ears?
You know, I've got 20 ears now. Now, Sally, I don't quite understand. If you already have a date for dinner, why'd you accept a date with me?
Because you asked me.
I see.
Good. Now, you be there 15 minutes early so you can learn the rules.
The rule?
Yes, I explained the rules now, only I'm late for class.
I see.
Now, here's my dress.
Girls are strange. I state this as a simple law of nature. Girls are strange. You never know what they're going to do or say next. So when Sally Bean, that's the dreamy girl I just met, when Sally Bean acted so strange, I wasn't even surprised, because that's what girls are, strange. Now, men, on the other hand, are predictable. You know just how they're going to react. Take my father, for example. I know that if I should come up to him and say, Dad, can I have $10 to take a girl out tonight? He would say,
Nope. You cannot have $10, but you can have 20.
Now, Dad, listen. Did you say I could have $20?
Make it 30.
You're kidding, of course.
I think you're mean, Herbert, teasing the boy like that.
Who's teasing? Winnie, I give you my word, as a husband and a father and a successful independent merchant, a paid-up member in good standing of the Bison Lodge, a veteran of WW2, the big one, with the good conduct medal, I meant every word I said.
Really?
You'll give the boy the $30?
Make it 40.
Dad, I don't know what to say. You go through life thinking your father's, conservative. No offense.
No offense, son, because that's what I am, a, conservative, skinflint, and a miser.
So how come $40?
Well, it's an investment, son.
In what?
Well, look at it this way. All your life, you've had this crazy end to chase after pretty girls. Goodness knows where you get it. Certainly not from me.
Well, I like that.
Oh, now, Winnie, I didn't mean that the way it sounded. You know that to me, you are a very attractive woman. And why? Because I am a man with simple, down-to-earth, homespun tastes. Who is saying it all wrong, Winnie. What I mean
What you mean is I'm a mess.
Oh, you are not. And regardless, you're my mess, and I love you.
Mom, if you don't mind, could you argue later? Right now, let's stick to that $40.
$40 for what? Oh, yeah, I said that, didn't I? Yeah. $40. Well, son, ever since you were in knee pants, you've been chasing after a pretty face, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to catch one someday.
Oh, I hope so, boy. I hope so. It'd be nice to have a pretty face around here now, Winnie.
Herbert, before this winds up in the courts, why don't you just give Dobie the money and stop explaining?
No, Winnie, the boy has a right to know.
Oh, it's okay, Dad. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Just give me the money.
Now, you just keep quiet and pay attention and listen, and where was I?
You were saying what a joy it would be to have a pretty face around you for a change.
I was not. I don't want a pretty face around me. All I want is for Dobie to get a girl just like you. And oh, Winnie, will you please go upstairs and let me straighten this out with the boy? You're scrambling my brains.
Dad means he's dazzled by the sight of your charming beauty, right, Dad?
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Go on, Herbert.
Well, These dreamboats that Dobie keeps chasing after, it seems to me that they all have two things in common. A, they cost a fortune, and B, they always wind up dumping Dobie.
No, not this one, Dad. Not Sally. This time it's the real thing. This time it's forever.
It always is.
Let me tell you about Sally.
I know about Sally. She's beautiful.
Beautiful, did you say? Let me put it to you this way. Sally's the second most beautiful girl in the world.
And who's the first?
I don't know. I'm willing to admit that somewhere on this earth there may be a girl more beautiful than Sally. It's not likely, but I'll admit the possibility.
That is big of you, boy. Now tell me, are you sure that this Sally is the girl you're going to wind up with?
Dad, I'm absolutely...
Think before you talk, son, because this time I'm holding you to it.
I'm not sure I understand you, Herbert.
Well, it's very simple. Dobie always gets dumped by the girl he's courting. And when you are courting a girl, that's when it costs money. Flour and candy and rented tuxedos and dancing at the Peabody roof. This is what's breaking me. But once you've got the girl, got her hog-tied, and know that she's really yours, the courtship is over.
Now I understand. I'm not sure that I approve, but I understand.
Winnie, do you remember when you told me you'd go steady? Why, I'll bet I didn't spend over $5 on you the whole next year.
$3.50. I was keeping track.
Yeah, now, you see there, boy? It's getting the girl that costs the money, not having her. And I have made up my mind. I am financing no more of your wild goose chases. When you can come to me and say that this is the girl you really want and that you're really going to get her, I'll bankroll the project.
Oh, Sally's the girl, Dad. I'm sure of it.
Well, make it happen this time, boy. Make it happen, because if you don't, you are winding up strolling through life hand in hand with Maynard.
I'm on my way to pick up Sally Bean for our first date. I go with a heart full of confidence. I know that was a hard bargain my father drove, but I'm not worried. Not a bit. I know I'm going to get Sally Bean for my very own. Sure, you've heard me say that before, but this time I really, truly know. How do I know? Well, if you could look in Sally's eyes the way I've looked in Sally's eyes, then you too would know that here was a girl with a great, generous, overflowing heart, with a beautiful soul, with tenderness and poetry, with love to match my own. But just to be on the safe side, I'm taking a little insurance with me. This took every penny my father gave me. But tonight's not the time to think about pennies. Tonight I'm going for broke.
Never mind, Mother, I'll get it.
Ah, my dear, you look charming tonight. Charming, did I say? Ravishing.
How do you feel, poor boy?
Oh, fine, fine.
All recovered from that spill you took this afternoon?
All recovered. Sally, my dear, how
Come meet
lovely.
my folks.
Oh, yes.
Mom, Daddy, this is Dobie Gillis, the boy I was telling you about.
How do you do?
This is the first rule, Dobie. No candy, no perfume, no jewelry, no gifts.
Won't you sit down, Dobie? Mr. Bean will explain the rules.
Oh, I'd appreciate that. Excuse me.
It's really very simple, Dobie. As you can see, Sally is a very attractive girl.
Attractive? She's at least the second most beautiful girl in the world.
Are you sure you feel all right, Dobie?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm better than fine. I'm floating.
Dobie, if you could descend for a moment.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're agreed, then, that Sally is a very pretty girl.
Yes, sir.
Sally is also a very tender-hearted girl. She's terribly disturbed by suffering of any kind.
Oh, I can't stand suffering. I mean, when I see suffering, I just want to curl up and die.
And me too, my dear. Oh, what I believe in is kindness. Boys ought to be kind to girls, and girls ought to be kind to boys.
True. Everybody ought to be kind to everybody.
Yeah.
And not just people. I mean animals and bugs and insects and everything.
Oh, you're so right. Yes.
Once when I was a little girl, I stepped on a caterpillar. I cried for a whole week.
Oh, I understand.
You know what I hate worse in this world?
What?
DDT.
Me too. Down with DDT.
All those pretty little gnats and midges fainting and dying and suffering. Oh, it's just too terrible.
It's ghastly.
You know what I like?
What?
Automobiles.
Me Automobiles?
Sure. Before automobiles, people used to drive horses. The poor things had to work all day in the hot sun, and lots of terrible men used to beat their horses.
Hooray for automobiles. Viva Detroit.
The only time I don't like automobiles is when they run over turtles.
Sally, if you don't mind, I think, Dobie, that we've established Sally's tender heart.
Absolutely.
Yes, Dobie, Sally has a beautiful soul and a tender heart, which simply cannot abide suffering. For instance,
When you fell down at school this afternoon and she saw you lying on the ground, hurt and stunned...
Dobie, you sure you feel all right?
Oh, perfect, my angel. Perfect.
As I was saying, when she saw you in your pitiful condition this afternoon, she would have done anything to make you feel better. If, for example, you would ask her to go steady or even to get married, it's very likely that she would have accepted.
Now he tells me.
What if you had proposed?
And what if she had accepted?
Oh, Dobie, you sure you feel all right?
Oh, fine, fine.
It wouldn't have mattered what kind of man you were. Sally would have said yes in any case, don't you see?
I'm afraid so, but what about the rules?
Well, Dobie, when Sally was old enough to start having dates, it was clear that she needed some kind of protection. I mean, we couldn't run the risk of letting some unscrupulous young man get her alone and force her into marriage by playing on her sympathies. So we sat down, Sally and her mother and I, and we drew up some rules. We agreed, all three of us, that she would never go out on dates with only one boy at a time.
Never?
Never. When Sally goes out, she always goes out with at least 2 boys, no one of whom is allowed to bring flowers or candy or perfume, or in any other way to gain any advantage over the other boy.
Safety in numbers, huh?
Precisely.
But look, how's Sally ever going to find the man she loves, namely me? I mean, with 2 guys hanging around all the time, how's she going to get to know either one of them?
But that's exactly the point. No boy can get Sally alone and whisper in her ear and work on her sympathies. Sally will be able to pick her boy completely on his merits, not because of a smooth line or a broken leg.
Dobie, the day that Sally comes home and tells us she is honestly in love with the young man because he's a good man and not just because of her tender heart, we'll gladly suspend the rules.
Now, Dobie, if you wish to withdraw from the competition, please feel free. Many boys have said no thank you when we've explained the rules to them, and you can go if you like with no hard feelings.
I'll stay. I'm not afraid of a little competition.
Good for you, Dobie, and may the best man win.
By the way, who is my competition?
Hi-ho, chaps. It is I, Chatsworth Osborne Jr., fresh from another triumph on the polo field.
All right, so my competition's Chatsworth Osborne Jr. So what? I'm not afraid of a good fight. I come from a long line of fighters. My mother and father have been fighting for years. So what if Chatsworth is the richest fella in town? So what if he drives a foreign sports car and wears expensive clothes? So what if he's suave and sophisticated, knows how to talk to head waiters and maitre d's and bellboys? And so what if I told you that I'm about as much competition for him as Audrey Hepburn would be for Ingemar Johansson? Boy, I'm dead.
You're too modest, Dobie-Doo. I think we're quite evenly matched.
Oh, come now.
It's true, Gillis, baby. I think Sally here is going to be dreadfully hard put to choose between us.
Oh, come now.
I do, of course, have certain tiny advantages. My wealth, for instance. The trust fund, stocks, bonds, debentures, and tax-free turnpike issues. I do, my little thrush. I can't take credit for that, any more than I can take credit for the brains I inherited, which have given me one of the 2 highest IQs ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere.
Who has the other one?
Don't look at me.
Nor can I take credit for this compact, perfectly articulated body, which has made me, among other things, 3 times intercollegiate fencing champion. Touche! 2 times intercollegiate court tennis champion. 3 times intercollegiate archery champion. With the long bow, of course.
Gee, how are you in athletics, Dobie?
I can float on my back.
Droll. You must just judge us man to man.
That's very decent of you, Chatsworth.
That's hardly surprising. I won the North American Decency Trophy 4 years running.
What do you say, Dobie?
Uncle.
What?
I say uncle. I know when I'm licked. Congratulations, Chatsworth. Would you mind taking Sally home?
Oh, chin out, Gillis, baby. You can't win them all.
That I wouldn't mind. I can't win any.
Hello, Mother.
Hello, darling.
Hi-ho, compadres.
Where's Dobie?
He went home by himself.
Yes, discretion, they say, is the better part of valor.
Well, good night, Chatsworth. Thank you for a lovely evening.
You're welcome. Just one moment, my little minx. Perhaps there's something you'd like to tell me.
Like what?
Like perhaps you've come to a decision about me tonight.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have.
Well, pray tell, my dear. Tell all of us. I'm sure that your folks will be quite interested to know.
Okay. I don't want to hurt your feelings, honest, Chatsworth, but I'm not going to see you anymore.
Surely you jest.
No, Chatsworth. I have a real soft heart, and I get all misty whenever I find anyone to feel sorry for. But let's face it, Chatsworth, you've got nothing in the world for me to feel sorry for.
Gad, can you possibly mean that you prefer that low-born Dobie Gillis to me?
Yes, Chatsworth.
How unspeakably ignominious.
You hurt, Chatsworth.
An Osborne hurt? Ho, 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 ho. My dear young woman, we did not become movers and shakers by wearing our hearts on our sleeves.
That's nice.
Good night.
I'll be seeing you.
No, my child, you will not be seeing me. This is goodbye, farewell, adios, sayonara, and out.
He's not mad.
Sally, about this Dobie Gillis. Do I understand you correctly? You're really fond of him?
Oh, yes, Daddy. I felt so sorry for Dobie next to Chatsworth.
I feel sorry for a Sherman tank next to Chatsworth.
Yes, we know you're sorry for Dobie, darling. The point is, are you honestly and genuinely fond of him?
I think so.
Oh, honey, we want you to be sure that you're sure. Now try another date with him, with somebody else alone.
Well, if you think so.
We think so.
Good morning, Dobie. Did you have your breakfast all right?
I wasn't hungry.
What's the matter with you, son? You look like cat meat.
Are you getting enough sleep, Dobie?
We got enough last night. It could have been later than 9:30 when he came in.
9:30. Didn't you have a good time, dear?
Well, if you want to know, I had a terrible time, a rotten, awful time.
Didn't get the girl, huh?
No.
Spend the money?
Yes.
All of it?
Every cent.
Winnie, you are a witness. You heard this boy promise that this was the girl he was going to get and that he would never ask me for another penny. And you heard me promise that he would never get another penny. And this is one promise I'm going to keep.
Relax, Dad. I'm not asking for any more money.
You're darn tootin' you're not because why ain't you asking for any more money?
Because money doesn't do any good with this girl. She doesn't accept gifts or go to fancy places or anything like that.
You found a girl who won't spend money?
Yes.
And you are letting her go?
What else can I do?
Oh, clasp her to your bosom, son, with hoops of steel. A girl who won't spend money. Oh, hang on to her, boy. Hang on to her. This is a television first.
Dad, I'd like to hang on to her, but there's a little competition.
And since when has a Gillis been afraid of competition?
Dad, it's Chatsworth Osborne, Jr.
I don't care if it's Captain Jinks of the Horse Marines. You get in there and fight, boy. After all, you are Herbert T. Gillis's son.
And Winifred Gillis's daughter.
Winners never quit and quitters never win.
And the race is to the swift.
And a man who won't be beat can't be beat.
And faint heart ne'er won fair maiden.
You're right, Mom. You're right, Dad. I'm going back there and fight.
That's my Dobie.
Yeah, and win, boy. And win. And you know why?
Why?
No more money.
Okay, bring him on. I'm ready for Chatsworth Osborne, Jr. or anybody else who wants to do battle for Sally Bean. A fella like me goes through life looking for the one girl. And when he finds her, he's not going to give her up without a fight. I'll fight with bare fists or swords or pistols or BBs. But I'll fight as long as I live. If necessary, even longer.
Hey, Doe, where you been? Boy, have I got some things to tell you.
Maynard, some other time. I've got to find Chatsworth right now.
Oh, but I got to tell you about yesterday. Man, you should have been there. You know where I was?
You were at the zoo and goodbye.
Oh, that was earlier. Afterwards, I went down to 5th and Main and watched them knock down the old Endicott building.
Tell me about it in class, will you, Maynard?
No,
I'm
Doe,
in a
they got
hurry.
this big crane and the iron ball hanging. The guy goes...
Are you through, Maynard?
Got one more.
That's it?
Just a little crunch. It won't take long.
Now are you through?
Yeah, now I'm through.
I'm glad. Goodbye, Maynard.
Where you going?
To look for Chatsworth.
Something you wanted, Gillis, baby?
You're darn right there is. I want you to know that a quitter never wins and a winner never quit and faint heart never won fair maiden. And when you take Sally Bean out tonight, I'm going to be right there with you because I'm in this fight to the finish.
Well, gung-ho, Gillis, baby. But for your information, I am not taking Sally Bean out tonight.
No? Who is?
I haven't the foggiest. But it isn't I, not tonight or any other night. I have better fish to fry.
He's right, though. I mean, I hate to stick up for old stuck-up Chatsworth, but a guy's a lot better off frying fish than running around after chicks.
Why, I'm thinking.
About what?
About the rules governing the dating of Miss Sally Bean. Now, the rules say that Sally's got to go out with two guys at once so one of them can't get her alone and whisper sweet nothings in her ear, right?
Yeah.
Maynard, what are you doing tonight?
Oh, no, not me, Doe. Please, Doe, I don't dig chicks. Don't make me go out with a chick.
Maynard, you've got to.
Doe, I stick my arm into the fire for you. Both arms, both legs, my beard. But chicks, Doe, please, Doe. No, Doe.
Maynard, I'm shocked. After all the things I've done for you, who's been your best friend ever since we were little tiny babies together?
You don't.
That's right. And who taught you how to tie your shoes?
You
And
don't.
who taught you how to dial the telephone?
You
And who
don't.
taught you how to...
That's about all I know how to do, though.
Well, you wouldn't have known that much if it hadn't been for me. And now when I ask you one little favor, how do you repay me?
You're right, Dobe. I'm a no-good rat. I'll go out with you tonight.
Oh, that's my good buddy. Yeah.
But as soon as we get her out of the house, I can cut and run. Promise?
I promise. You heard that. I promised Maynard he could cut and run as soon as we got Sally away from the house. The trouble is, Maynard didn't promise me. So what happened? 11 o'clock came and...
Tell me again about the 3 bunny rabbits you used to have.
Oh, they were so darling, all round and fluffy and white.
With long ears and noses that went like this.
Yes, and little stumpy cottontails. In fact, that's what I called one of them, Cottontail. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail? I have 3 cousins named that. Whack, buddy. Now, did you get the guppies before or after the rabbits?
After. Daddy got them for me when the rabbits died. Oh, I cried so.
Oh, I'm crying now.
Me too.
Well, anyhow, I soon grew to love my guppies. All 40 of them.
What were their names?
Well, there was Joe, Mo, and Flo, Fred, Ed, and Ned, Arthur, Alice, and Morris, and...
Sally, it's 11 o'clock.
Quiet, Dope. She's only got 32 more.
Sally, your folks must be expecting you.
I'm afraid so. Gee, Maynard, I hate to break this up. I haven't had so much fun in years.
Me neither. Hey, Sally, why don't you call home and ask if you can stay a little while longer? Just till you tell me the name of the guppies and all the bees you used to keep.
I'll call. Excuse me.
Maynard, I can't find words for you.
Well, I can find plenty for you, like louse, rat, skunk, and cheat.
What are you talking about? You said you were going to cut and run as soon as we got Sally away from home.
Shame on you, Dobe. I mean, thinking of a fiendish trick like that to play on poor Sally. You know the rules. Shame on you. Trying to get that poor, dear, innocent little chick to yourself so you can whisper sweet nothings in her ear. Shame on you.
Maynard, I don't understand. You hate chicks.
Dobe, a chick who digs bunnies and caterpillars and ants and lizards and dogs and cats and lions and tigers. Dobe, that ain't a chick. That's like a real human being.
So you're not going to leave me alone with her?
Dobe, on account of our long friendship and your many good qualities, I'm going to try to overlook the rotten, crummy trick you try to pull tonight. But don't press me too far.
Great news, Maynard. Daddy says I can stay another half hour.
Oh, for joy.
Now, where was I?
You were telling me about the guppies. So far you had Ed, Ned, Fred, Joe, Mo, Flo, Arthur, Alice, Morris, Phyllis.
Yes. Then there was Willie and Billy and Joel and Noah and Kate and Nate and Harry and Mary and Lottie and Toddy and... What?
I said uncle. Again, I said uncle.
Strange boy.
Weird. Please continue.
Well, then there was Jackie and Johnny and Jimmy, and Earl and Merle and Pearl, and Lisa.
Did you have your breakfast, dear?
I wasn't hungry.
Hey, you look worse than yesterday. Strike out again?
That's it.
Now, Herbert, don't be hard on the boy.
Oh, I am not going to be hard on him, Winnie. After all, he tried, and that's what counts. You did the best you could, son, and I am proud of you.
And I am proud of you, Herbert.
Well, thank you very much, Winnie. Son, I know that I growl and grumble a lot, but underneath this rough exterior, I'm not such a bad guy. Listen, you just forget all I said about no more money. Here, go out and get yourself another girl.
Oh, gee, Dad, you're all heart. I'm sorry I couldn't have won this one for you.
You tried, Dobie, and that's what matters.
Certainly, and after all, there's no disgrace to losing to a guy like Chatsworth Osborne Jr. with all his loot and brains and trophies and stuff like that.
Well, I didn't exactly lose her to Chatsworth Osborne Jr.
Oh, some football player, huh, with a big neck and stuff like that?
Well, not exactly.
Well, exactly who did you lose her to?
Dobe, Sally Bean and me are like engaged. I ran right over to tell you. Look, she gave me a ring.
You lost to and stuff like that?
Dobe?
Maynard, go away.
I know you think I'm an Arnold Benedict,
That's
but...
Benedict Arnold, but you got the right idea.
But I want to be buddies again, Dobe. I mean, I don't want to be with no chick. I want to be with you.
So Sally Bean dumped you, huh?
No, I dumped her.
For what?
Oh, she did a terrible thing, Dobe, a terrible thing.
What?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, you can tell me.
Well, she kissed me. Yeah, they're all alike, Dobe. I should have known. They're all alike.
No, Maynard.
But what's the difference? We still got each other.
Yes, Maynard.
And we always will.
I'm afraid so, Maynard. I'm afraid so.
Hey, Dobe, did I tell you about the Endicott building? The big
About
crane and the
1,000
iron ball?
times.
And the guy goes...
morning, class. Students, and of course I use the term jocularly, please open your textbooks to page 208. Today we are going to take up the works of Robert Browning. Mr. Krebs.
Present.
Can you tell us who Robert Browning was? And I withdraw the question.
Well, I got a big surprise for you, Mr. Pomfret, your professorship, sir. It just so happens I do know who Robert Browning was.
Yes, Mr. Krebs, that would be a big surprise for me. All right, who, pray, was Robert Browning?
Well, sir, he was this guy who lived in the corner of 9th and Locust. Big son of a gun, kind of bald head, and always smoked a big cigar.
No, Mr. Krebs, that was not Robert Browning.
Oh, begging your pardon, your cap and gownship, that was too Robert Browning. I knew him good. I mean, every night when I walked by his house, he'd be sitting there on his porch rocking, and I'd say, "How do, Mr. Browning?" He'd say, "How do, Maynard?" We were like buddies.
Maynard.
In fact, he's kind of like my hero. He was a crane operator, see? He used to run this big crane with this long wire and a stainless steel ball at the end. What he'd do is he'd knock down old buildings. He'd take the big stainless steel ball and yeah.
Jordan, could you tell us something about Robert Browning?
Robert who?
Browning, the poet.
Poetry. Ugh, I think poetry's just icky.
Indeed. And what is not icky?
Oh, dreamy boys with yellow convertibles that dance divinely and wear Italian suits. And no funny little French restaurants where they let you mix your own salad dressing.
Thank you, Miss Jordan. May your life be filled with oil and vinegar. Miss Gilroy, could you please tell us something about Robert Browning?
Sure could. Robert Browning was born in 1812, died in 1889, and wrote what is largely considered to be the most robust dramatic poetry in English since Shakespeare.
Excellent, Miss Gilroy, as usual. 100% correct.
You hear that, Dobie? Smart as a whip, pretty as a picture, strong as a mule, gentle as a lamb, loyal as a dog, and all yours. Who could ask for anything more?
I could. In fact, I am.
Now, let me get this straight. Are you talking about her?
Why not?
She's rich, beautiful, popular, the belle of the whole campus. She doesn't want you.
How do you know?
I'll show you. Hey, Poppy. You want Dobie?
Good heavens, whatever for?
That's my case.
Please do rest your case, Miss Gilroy. Now, I yield to no man in my admiration for romance, if romance is the proper word for this curious, lingering affliction between you and Mr. Gillis. But right now, I would like to read some typical verse of Robert Browning's.
Sure, Mr. Pomfret, go ahead.
You're very kind. Ah, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Mr. Gillis, can you tell us what those lines mean?
Well, I think they mean that if a guy really wants something, I mean, really and truly, he should go after it even if it seems impossible to get.
You astonish me, Mr. Gillis, and pleasantly. That is precisely what Robert Browning is saying.
Like, for instance, if there was a girl who was gorgeous and beautiful and popular and desirable and the belle of the whole campus, and there was a guy who was just an average, typical American boy, why, he shouldn't say, "I'm licked, I'll never get her." He should try with all his might to win her, even if it means dumping another girl who's not so gorgeous and beautiful and popular and desirable.
Now, just a minute. This other girl may not be a beauty winner, but she's a human person with feelings and dignity. And if this guy thinks he can come running back to her anytime he strikes out elsewhere, well, she's got news for him. The next time he walks out will be the last time.
You'll forgive me, but weren't we talking about Robert Browning?
We still are. And this girl is serving notice right now that a certain guy's reach better not exceed his grasp, or he's going to end up with a big fat zero all around.
But, Mr. Pomfret, isn't that Browning's point? I mean, even if you're going to go down to utter, total, complete ruin, you've got to try to get what you really want. You've got to reach beyond your grasp. True?
Well, yes, it's true, but...
Thank you. Poppy, my great tawny animal. Would you come with me tonight to a funny little place I know where they let you mix your own salad dressing?
Oh, I don't know. Call me.
All right, Dobie, I warned you.
I have nothing against Zelda, you understand. She's a fine girl with a giant IQ and a big heart and not a single cavity in her whole mouth. I like her. I respect her. I admire her. But love her? No. Who I love is Poppy Jordan, because like Robert Browning says, a man's reach should exceed his grasp. I'm going to get Poppy. It'll take perseverance, patience, ingenuity, and most of all...
Money?
Yes, Dad, I'm taking some money.
Why?
Because a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
Well, you keep reaching like that, and you will be grasping with a handful of sharp fingers.
Dad, I'll put in my IOU. I'll work it off.
Shame on you, Herbert. You think the boy's a thief? Why, he never stole anything in his life.
Oh, perish the thought, but you must admit he has made a lot of unsecured loans.
Dad, listen to me. Robert Browning.
Robert Browning? Oh, you mean the guy who runs the crane with the big iron ball on it?
Yeah,
knocks
that's
down buildings?
friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can see how a fella could get confused.
Yeah.
Robert Browning was a famous poet. He wrote... Well, anyhow, he was very famous.
That Robert Browning, huh? Where did you run into him, son?
No, Dad, he's dead.
Oh, sorry to hear that. He left the widow well fixed up.
Herbert, will you let the boy say what he's going to?
So who's stopping now?
Thanks. Well, Robert Browning, the English poet, said, a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Now, that means,
how beautiful.
Now, that means if you find...
I know what it means. It means if you've got a hankering for something big and wonderful and way out of your reach, you should go out and try to get it, no matter what your good sense tells you.
That's right.
That's wrong. A man's reach should be just as long as his arm. Don't reach for anything you can't grab. Know your limitation. Learn to live with it. I did.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, Winnie, now just a minute. Remember, Winnie, I didn't mean that. You were a fine woman and a great wife and a wonderful mother, and you keep a clean house and you cook a good meal and...
Look, Mom, Dad, I'm proud of you, both of you. Really, I am, but frankly, I'd like something better. Got me doing it. But what I mean is, well, I hope I'm as lucky as you two are, but, well, like Robert Browning said, a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
You know, I am going to speak to the Bison Educational League about this guy, Browning. He sounds like some kind of a communist to me.
Herbert, let the boy try to exceed his grasp. He's young, and if he gets his nose bloodied, well, I guess he'll recover.
You're right, Winnie. Let him go out and get clobbered. After all, Zelda will always be waiting there whenever he comes back. Right, son?
I don't know, Dad. She said if I tried it once more, she was through with me.
Big talk. That's what your mother said to me when I went chasing off after Cuddles Kindermacher. But there she was, light in the window, waiting, all lit up. Hey, here, take your money and get out of here, will you? This is a place of business. I can't stand around yakking all day. What can I do, buddy?
Goodbye, Maynard.
What you doing?
Writing. Goodbye, Maynard.
What? What you writing?
You're not going to go, are you?
What you writing?
Well, Maynard, I guess you could call it a plan of battle.
Hey, Wild, who you gonna do battle with?
Poppy Jordan.
Oh, I don't know, Dobe. I mean, you're giving away a lot of weight. Still, if you stay in there close and give her a good old... Here, give her the...
Maynard, look. Maynard, I'm not going to fight Poppy. Not that way. My battle's going to be to win her heart and soul. And I will, Maynard, I will. Tonight, Poppy will be mine.
Yeah, and tomorrow you're gonna come crawling back to Zelda.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. You're right, Maynard. Who am I kidding? Poppy's way out of my reach. I just better play it cozy and hang on to what I've got.
Good thinking.
Bad thinking.
Hello, Mr. Pomfret.
Like how your PhD ship?
Play it cozy. Hang on to what you've got. Dobie, don't you ever listen to the things I say in class?
Yes, sir.
I don't.
Now, Dobie, even a memory as fleeting as yours must be able to recall what I quoted from Robert Browning this morning.
Yes, sir, I remember. A man's reach should exceed his grasp.
Exactly. Now, does that sound like playing it cozy?
Then you think Robert Browning was right about a man's reach?
Of course he was. Now, whatever you want, Dobie, no matter how unattainable it may seem, you've got to try to get it. If I haven't taught you one other thing in all the years I've had you as a student, and the odds are rather strongly in favor of that possibility, then I will still consider my job as a teacher fulfilled if I can just bring home this one point to you. Don't play it safe. Don't play it cozy. Let your reach exceed your grasp.
I'll do it, Mr. Pomfret. I'll do it.
Good boy, Dobie. And if you fail...
Which he will.
If you fail, Dobie, just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try it again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, boys.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, your cap and gown ship.
Now, Maynard, I better get ready for the big night with Poppy.
Dobe, don't.
Don't what?
Don't go out with Poppy Jordan tonight, because you're gonna strike out and Zelda ain't gonna take you back.
Maynard, in the first place, I am not going to strike out. I am going to win because a man's reach should exceed his grasp. And in the second place, even if I do strike out, which I am not going to, Zelda will take me back.
But she said
She said that before.
Not the way she said it this time. Did you see how beady her beady little eyes were? Did you see how tight her tight little mouth was? Did you see how round little chin was?
Maynard, you're a worry.
All right, Dope, go ahead. Do what you want. There are none so blind as those who will not see.
Where'd you get that?
On a little card from a weighing machine.
Goodbye, Maynard.
Go ahead, Dope, go ahead. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Fortune cookie.
Ah, here we are, my dear. A funny little French restaurant that hardly anybody knows about.
French restaurant? It's a malt shop.
Only to those who aren't in love. Tonight, my dear, we create our own Paris.
Oh, brother.
Okay, Kenny, they're here.
Geez, Zelda, I don't know if I should. He gave me a $5 to do a French accent.
Come on, a deal's a deal. I did your homework, didn't I?
Well, okay.
An enchanting little bistro, huh, my love?
Let's hurry and eat so I can get home,
Home, my jewel? But the night is so young and you are so ravishing.
Order, hey?
Of course, my own. Garçon?
Oui, monsieur?
I'd like to order a gourmet dinner for two.
Gourmet dinner for two. Oui, monsieur.
What is the specialité of the house?
Frozen pizza.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Perhaps, monsieur. Have you ever been in Paris?
Paris, France?
Oui.
No.
Come on, I have to get home, Dopey.
Yeah, that's Dobie with a B. 2 frozen pizzas and a tossed green salad. I'll mix the dressing myself.
Enchanté, monsieur.
You sure I don't know you?
Have you ever been in Marseille?
Marseille, France?
Oui. Come on already.
That'll be all, garçon.
Mille merci fois, monsieur.
Well, my dear, what shall we do this glorious evening?
We shall finish our dinner and we shall take me home.
Home? But I made such plans. The opera, perhaps.
Opera? All those fat people singing at each other?
The ballet?
All those girls with bulgy legs?
The movies?
Home.
But why must you be home so early?
Because.
Because why?
Just because.
I understand. You're teasing me, my little minx.
I tease you not. It's Chow and Holmesville.
Voilà, le dîner. I understand monsieur wishes to mix this salad dressing himself.
You're absolutely sure we've never met before?
Have you ever been near Alsace-Lorraine?
No, but I've been near Zelda Gilroy. Zelda, shame on you.
Yes, that's right, Dobie. Shame on me. But this is the last time. The last time, Dobie, shame on me.
Zelda, how can you spy on me like this?
A woman in love can do a lot of things. But finally there comes a point when she just can't do anymore. Goodbye, Dobie.
Look, Zelda, I don't want to hurt your feelings. For years I've been telling you it's no use. Why don't we just start all over again and just be friends?
Dobie, there's 2 things we can be, and friends isn't one of them. We can be lovers, or we can be strangers. Can't you see that? Goodbye, Dobie.
Are you gonna eat your pizza?
Oh, no. Help yourself, my dear.
Mix the salad dressing, will you? I'm kind of in a hurry.
Of course, my sweet. This dressing, my dear, is a secret recipe known but by 3 people on Earth, all sworn to silence.
Yeah, I gotta get home.
Nonsense, my child. After dinner, we'll go dancing,
We'll go home.
canoeing,
Home.
bowling.
Home.
Look, Poppy, I don't understand. Why do you have to be home so early?
Does that answer your question?
A late date?
Nighty-night, Dopey.
Yeah, that's Dobie with a B.
Sorry, Roger. I tried to get rid of him sooner.
Late date. Oh, what a jerk I am.
Like true, good buddy.
I wonder how Dobie made out with that new girl last night.
I don't have to wonder. He got clobbered. That's how he made out.
That's right, Dad.
Oh, there you are. Well, what did I tell you, son?
You told me a man ought to play it cozy, play it safe, and you were right, Dad. Absolutely right. You're a very smart man.
You bet your boots I am.
He is?
From now on, Dad, what you say goes. If you're kind enough to give me the benefit of your advice, well, I ought to have sense enough to take it.
What's the matter, dear?
Nothing.
Aren't you happy because Dobie is going to listen to your advice after all these years?
You want the truth?
I know the truth. You're scared stiff.
Winnie, I am paralyzed. The kid really threw me a curve.
But for all these years, you've been yelling that Dobie ought to listen to you.
Sure, because I knew he wouldn't. Winnie, it is very easy for parents to advise their children, and you know why? If it turns out that the kid is right and the parent is wrong, well, that's fine, because after all, the important thing is for the kid to be okay.
Yes, dear.
And if it turns out that the parent is right and the kid is wrong, you can always say...
I told you so.
Right.
Which is a mighty good feeling.
No, it certainly is. So when parents advise their children, no matter which way it turns out, the parent has to wind up a winner. Providing, of course, the kid don't take the advice.
But Dobie pulled a switch. He's going to listen to you.
No, that was a sneaky thing to do.
Which means that from now on, when you give advice, you're going to have to think before you speak.
No, what a terrible thing to do to a man.
Oh, don't worry, Herbert. It's not so bad. After all, you're not unintelligent.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Don't agree so.
All right. Well, dear, you're no Einstein, but you do have the boy's welfare at heart, and I'm sure that if you think hard enough, you'll be able to come up with the right advice for him.
When he was 5 years old, then I could give him the right advice. Don't play in traffic. Don't sit on a hot stove. But he is no longer 5 years old. He is a young man, and don't ever tell him I said so, but he's a heck of a lot smarter than I am about the things of his world anyway. Look, I'm just a plain ordinary man trying to scratch out a living in a corner grocery, and he's got the whole universe in his mind. Now he comes along and wants me to give him advice. Winnie, I am lost.
Don't despair, Herbert. Things are not as black as they seem.
Oh, like heck they ain't.
Believe me, they're not, because something wonderful is going to happen very soon.
Like what?
Like Dobie is going to forget all the promises that he made this morning and start ignoring you just like he always has.
You really think so, Winnie, honest?
I'm sure of it.
Oh, he's a good boy, that Dobie. You sure he's going to ignore me?
Positive?
Oh, he's a great comfort to his old dad. And you're a pretty good comfort to your old husband, too. Hey, come here.
Well, if it ain't old Zell.
Well, if it ain't old Maine.
Well, fancy meeting you here.
Well, must be mighty fancy. You only been tracking me for 3.5 hours.
Mind if I sit here?
No, go right ahead. Well.
Hey, Zelda, you look like real pretty today.
Like, thanks.
I mean, your nose is so nice and shiny.
Stop, Peter. You'll turn my head with praise.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, Zelda. If I turned your head, you keep running around bumping into things.
Good thinking.
Well.
Well, what?
I'd like to ask you a hypodermical question.
It's hypothetical, and the answer's no.
Zelda, you can't dump Dobie. He needs you.
You should have thought of that earlier.
Well, let's put it this way. You need him. I mean, where's a chick like you going to find another guy? No offense.
No offense, Maynard. And the answer is, I don't know where I'm going to find another guy. Or even if I'm going to find another guy. All I know is I got a little bit of pride left, and I intend to hang on to it.
But you can't go through life all alone, small girl.
Who says I can't?
Me, I just said, didn't you hear?
There's lots of other things besides love. I'll study hard. Maybe become a big scientist or doctor or missionary or something.
You thought this through? I mean, your head's made up?
Absolutely. So you can tell your friend Dobie... Never mind. I'll tell him myself. Dobie, I know you're hiding down there. Come on out. Come on.
Zelda, listen.
No, Dobie, you listen. I've got 2 words for you. The first one is good. Got that? The second one is bye. Put them all together, they spell...
Goodbye?
Goodbye.
Zelda, look, Zelda.
Well, cheer up, good buddy. You're always going to have me.
I'm afraid so, Maynard. I'm afraid so.
And as Robert Browning so lyrically puts it in Pippa Passes, the years at the spring, the days at the morn, mornings at 7, the hillsides dew pearled, the larks on the wing, the snails on the thorn, God's in his heaven, all's right with the world. Class, except for Dobie Gillis, dismissed. Mr. Krebs, what are you doing here?
I'm with Dobie.
You might as well talk to Mr. Pomfret. Maynard won't leave.
That's right, because I'm your good buddy.
Very well. Dobie, Over the years, I've grown accustomed to your infinite variety of moods, but I must confess that I've never seen you in such a funk as the one you're in today. Now, is anything wrong?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. And it's all your fault, Mr. Pomfret. Dobie's whole life is wrecked on account of you.
Me? What did I do?
Telling him all that jazz about a man's reach should exceed his grasp. Shame on you, teaching junk like that to us poor, innocent, lovable, sweet kids.
That junk, Mr. Krebs, happens to be one of the most lofty thoughts in the entire language.
So how come you don't believe it?
But I do. I believe it with all my heart.
Can I speak freely, Mr. Pomfret? No holds barred.
Go ahead, Dobie. Speak freely.
All right. Mr. Pomfret, what right have you got to talk about a man's reach? No offense, but what have you accomplished? I mean, here you are, just a plain instructor in a little backwater college, teaching freshman English, piling up years and waiting for your pension. Sure, it's an important job, and sure you're good at it, but is this the extent of your reach? Is this all you ever wanted out of life?
No, Dobie, it's not.
Then why aren't you trying to exceed your grasp? You said you wanted to be a writer. Well, why aren't you writing instead of playing it safe in this little college?
Because I know my limitations, Dobie.
And I know mine.
No, you don't. Don't ever let me hear you talk about limitations at your age. I want to show you something, Dobie. You know what this is?
No, sir.
This is a novel. I wrote it when I was exactly your age. I also wrote 8 other novels, equally heavy. Fortunately, I tore them up and threw them away. Should have torn this one up and thrown it away, too. It's terrible. But you see, at your age, Dobie, I thought that I was going to write the great American novel. I didn't think I was going to end up a teacher in a backwater college. Well, I found out that I couldn't write that novel. I found out that all I was good for was teaching. So I settled for that. And I'm darn glad I did, because at my age, there's no happiness unless you know your limitations. But at your age, Dobie, there are no limitations. You've got to reach for the stars, Dobie. You've got to reach. And if you fail, you've got to reach again. Later is a time to talk about limitations, much later. But now you're young and you're full of bright, shining hope. And nothing but the very best is good enough for you.
Mr. Pomfret, what I said, I'm sorry, honest.
Well, don't be sorry. Just forget it. But remember what I'm trying to tell you, Dobie. Whatever you want in life, you've got to reach for, whether it's a girl or a job or a way of living. You've got to dig in and try for it with everything you've got, because that's the only way you're going to get what you're after. And when you fail, well, you won't really fail, Dobie, because just the effort of trying is a wonderful and enriching experience.
Does that even go for a fellow like me, Mr. P?
You bet it does, Mr. Krebs. You've got to get out there and slug for the record album or that new set of bongos you want. And by George, if you do, you'll get it, because nothing will stand in your way.
Like, wow, even me.
Like reach, man. Reach.
Thanks, Mr. Pomfret. You've got the right idea, Maynard, but the wrong chick. Hi, Zelda. Zelda?
No.
Look, Zelda, I know you're a great human being, and I'm not worthy of you, but just the same, I'm going after you until I get you back, because a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
It's no use, Dobie.
I don't care. I've got to try.
You mean you are going to chase me?
You bet.
There's a switch.
I'm going to court you with vigor and determination and all the skill at my command.
You mean you'll send me candy and flowers?
Orchids and chocolate creams.
And you'll open doors for me and help me
And
across
throw my
streets?
coat on mud puddles for you to walk across. Have I got a chance?
I don't know, Dobie. You can try.
Can I phone you?
If you like.
Tonight?
If you like.
Okay. Okay, I'll phone you tonight.
So long, Dobie.
Oh, Zelda, one more thing.
Yes?
Could you lend me a dime for the phone?
fact, I'm like broke. The only loot I got is what I just picked up at the bank to take back to school. It belongs to the kids in my class. I'm the treasurer, like legally elected. Yeah, so they won't mind if I loan a small loan to reimburse you. See here. Here. Here's a dime. Here. Okay. Oh, you're doing both shoes, huh? So you ought to get 2 dimes. So altogether, that's 15 cents of enchilada.
No, señor, me ha pagado demasiado.
Yeah, and almost Mary Yuletide to you, too, you poor little loaf. Hey, what are you doing out here working in all this ice, coal, and slate? Yeah, you probably got like 8 or 9 little brothers and sisters just like you out there working instead of being home getting ready for Santa Claus. Listen, here, you take this for your little brothers. Yeah, you take this for your little sisters, and you take this for your little parents. Now listen, you take the rest of the day off and get that whole shooting match happy by getting ready for a real Merry Christmas, huh? Now, vamos, little caramba, come on. Merry Christmas. Now, I know the kids at school won't say nothing when they find out I gave away a couple of bucks. I want to take back what I said because I gave away all the bucks to that poor little tycoon. Ooh, are they going to say something? Like, woe is me.
The joyful season of Christmas, when our hearts are filled with love for our fellow human beings. And that means love for my friend Maynard G. Krebs. But sometimes filling your heart with love for Maynard isn't so easy. In fact, it's kind of, well, what it is darn near impossible. Very well, it has been moved and seconded that the money we've contributed to our class fund be spent in a Christmas dance.
Mr. Chairman, point of information.
Walter Funk.
How much money do we have in the fund to spend on the dance?
We'll know the exact amount as soon as the treasurer of the Christmas fund gets here.
Who's the treasurer?
Maynard G. Krebs. And now then...
I move we get a new treasurer.
Dobie, you appointed Maynard to be treasurer?
Yes, by virtue of the power vested in me as chairman.
Well, I move we get a new chairman.
Now, just a minute.
Yeah, just a darn minute. You
Yeah.
kids ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Now, look, we all voted to make Dobie chairman. Now, let's stand behind him and back him up instead of picking on him.
That's right. I'm doing my darnest to do a good job.
And you're succeeding, Poopsie. You're doing a fine job.
Thank you, Zelda.
So how come you pulled a lame brain stunt like appointing Maynard treasurer?
Because Maynard's changed, that's why. Now that he's a college man, he's mature and grown up and resourceful and self-reliant. Am I really talking
about our Maynard? No.
Of course he's changed. He's very dependable now. And besides, all I asked him to do was go to the bank and bring our money here to class.
Oh, well, a child of 8 could do that.
A child of 5 could do it.
But could Maynard G. Krebs?
Now cut that out. You keep talking about the Maynard of the old days, back when he was a bumbling, left-headed, useless, no-account mess. Oh, here's our treasurer now. Hi there, Maynard. You did what I told you, didn't you?
Like naturally.
You went to the bank and drew out all the money in our class fund.
Like naturally.
And then you stuck it in an envelope and put it in your pocket, huh?
Like naturally.
And now you're going to hand it over to me.
Like naturally.
Yes, thank you, Maynard. Maynard, our money, it's gone.
Like naturally. See you around, though.
It was truly inspiring to see how the class reacted when Maynard showed up without the money for the Christmas dance. At first, of course, they were awful mad, but after a while, they started to have kindlier feelings. For instance, a belief in Maynard's basic honesty.
Of course he didn't steal the money. He's too stupid to be a crook.
On the other hand, certain members of the class developed a deep feeling of compassion.
I pity his poor parents stuck for life with such a washout.
Others even experienced a commendable amount of scientific curiosity.
Do you think he'd tell us what happened to the money if we all put on boots and jumped up and down on him?
Maynard was up to his beard in trouble, but happily there was a simple, direct, effective way to solve his whole problem.
Nope, I ain't gonna commit harry-carry.
Maynard, stop that.
Man, I'd have enough trouble polishing myself off in English.
And Maynard.
I think my father's for harry-carry. He keeps taking me to Japanese movies and pointing.
Maynard, stop. I just want you to tell me what happened to the money for the Christmas dance.
I can't, though.
Why not? We've been friends for a long time. You could always tell me everything.
I know, though, but this is like different.
All right, you've made your point. We're just not friends anymore.
Oh, no, Dobe. You're the very best friend I got in the whole world. I mean, I would stick my arm into the fire.
So tell me where the money is.
So long, stranger.
Okay. If you feel so strongly about it, you must have good reason, so I won't mention it again. But I'm warning you, You'd better find a way to pay it back before Christmas, or what the kids in class hang on their tree is going to be you.
Don't worry, Dobe. I'm in no trouble. I'm going to pay it back every week out of my allowance. Just remember the size of my allowance, and I'm in trouble.
Yeah, it's big trouble. Maynard, I know this will come as a shocking suggestion, but how about getting a job?
Yeah, you're right. It's a shocking suggestion. Hey, Dobe, what if I wrote a letter to the president and asked him for a government loan?
The president in Washington?
Yeah, I'd say, Dear Mr. Truman.
Yeah, Maynard, his name's Kennedy now.
Truman's name is Kennedy?
And he couldn't help you anyhow. He's got other things to worry about.
Still trying to get that new porch for the White House,
That's right. Now, there's only one way out. You've got to get a part-time job helping out in the pre-Christmas rush.
You're right, Dobe. I mean, you're right, but who's going to give me a job? I mean, let's face it. Maybe I'm charming and lovable and sweet, but I still am Maynard G. Krebs.
True, but you're the new Maynard G. Krebs, a college man, a veteran of the armed forces, mature, resourceful, self-reliant. Offer that package to any merchant in town, and you know what he'll say?
I give you a simple N-O no, a simple O-U-T out, and a simple goodbye Maynard.
Hey, Dad, be fair. At least think about it for a little while.
Okay, I'm thinking about it. Okay, I've thought about it. Out.
Yeah, this is a desperate emergency. To Maynard, it's a matter of life or death.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Look, he couldn't carry $55.78 for the class dance across the street without losing it. And you want me to trust my hard-earned cash to him? You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, Dobe, you gotta be kidding.
Maynard,
Herbert, I'm ashamed of the way you've been talking about Maynard.
So am I, but with a lady president, it was the best I could do.
Dobie, as I understand it, Maynard has done something to let you down, and now he wants to make up for it.
That's right, Mom.
Well, then, Herbert, how can we possibly refuse to help him?
Easy. Winnie, I hope you understand what you're letting us in for. It means that Maynard will be here in the store with us, hour after hour, day after day, week after week.
I understand that perfectly, and Dobie, isn't there some other way that we can possibly help Maynard? Herbert, you are going to hire the boy.
Okay, Winnie, we survived the Depression, 2 fires, cyclone, a flood. I suppose we can survive Maynard G. Krebs. You're hired.
Oh, thanks, Dad. You're performing a noble deed.
Oh, thank you, your grocership, sir. I mean,
Never mind.
You're one of nature's noblemen.
Maynard. You're welcome already. Just be here tomorrow right after school. We'll start you off at 60 cents an hour.
60 cents an hour? What kind of crummy wages do you call that?
Maynard.
I mean, when do I start getting my fringe benefits and my hospitalization and my coffee?
Maynard. Hey, Maynard. The next day, Maynard began his career as a clerk in the Gillis grocery store. Well, it wasn't exactly a career. It was more like a sentence.
Hi, Mr. G.
Like, hi, Maynard, and what's your excuse?
I don't have one, sir, so if you see one laying around, please tell me. I sure could use it.
I'll admit Maynard didn't start off in his job like a ball of fire. But within a couple of days, his work had improved to the level of, well, I think they call it utter mediocrity.
Señor,
Huh? Oh, it's you, little Latin type waif.
vengo de órdenes de mi mamá para comprar comida.
Look, I told you I don't dig that like Latin. You know, no understando, see, no digo.
Aquí está la lista.
Hey, how did you know I was here? You must have followed me or something, huh?
Por favor, no comprendo.
Please get off my back, little sombrero, will you? I mean, seeing you out in front of your house looking all sad-eyed and hungry, I couldn't stop myself from giving you the class's money. And look at all the hot water it got me into. So no more loot. That was it. Finish bill, the end.
Está escrita en inglés.
You got a shopping list? You got money to pay for this? You know money, cashierino, moolah, pesoville.
Sí, tengo dinero.
Good, because I gotta have cash. I'm working for Herbert T. Gillis, merchant print, who was a fine, decent, honorable man who was also mean and cheap. Looks like Chinese food you got there. 1 dozen eggs.
Little did Maynard know. Little did anybody know what he was getting himself into. I mean, staring at him from just around the corner was grim, horrible, terrifying disaster.
Let's see, that'll be $11.45. $11.45 out of, $12. $12? That'll just about clean you out. And with Christmas coming and all those, Christmas presents and all that jazz. Here. Remember, this is the last time. I mean, there's going to be no more. I mean, it's going to be like bye-byes, Bill, and it's going to be like adios, huh?
Hasta luego, señor.
Yeah, and a hasty and bagel to you, kid. Nancy Krebs, you're all heart. Ooh, in big trouble. Maynard, president. Uh-oh.
What's my name?
Your name is Herbert T. Gillis, and you're a veteran of the WW2.
Right! Not J.P. Morgan, not John D. Rockefeller, not the Aga Khan. Just plain everyday Herbert T. Gillis, your farmer employer.
Like foreigner?
Right. Oh, I just saw that little transaction of yours, all $11.45 of it, and you were finished, through, put, sacked.
Why fired?
Fired!
Honest, kid, Maynard feels awful about what's happened. He knows what you're thinking.
No, he doesn't. Or he'd get himself a bulletproof head.
No, he'll raise the money somehow.
A thought. Maybe he could donate his body to medical research.
Why don't we donate it for him?
Look, I just know Maynard will come through. Remember, it's Christmas, and somewhere in this town there's a job that's just right for such a warm-hearted, lovable, friendly human being.
Like, oh, ho, 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 ho. Managership, I've never been a Santa Claus before, but I know I can do it good, because my mom used to bring me to this store to see old Santa every year.
Well, that helps.
She's out of town, and she would have brung me this year, too. Hey, how do I look, Mr. Bieber? Like real Kris Kringle-ish, huh?
Well, let me put it this way, Krebs. Stay in a dim light and hope that the kids are nearsighted.
Anything I can do to serve, sir.
And not a minute too soon. Here come the kiddies. Now remember, Krebs, you're Santa. Now greet the customers.
Like, hi, customers. What do I do now, your floor walker ship?
Sit her on your lap.
On my lap?
Yes.
On my lap?
Yes.
Every year, new rules. Well,
Apologies, madam. He's new here. And it's a cinch he'll never get old here. Little girl, Santa, the little girl.
Yes, sir, your carnation ship. Oh, there, little darling. What you got to say to old Santa? She don't talk too good, does she? Come on. Tell old Blubber Belly what you want for Yuletides, Bill.
No, I won't tell you anything. You're not for real.
That's what my father's been saying for years. But a real Santa Claus I am.
You are not.
I am, too.
You are not.
I am, too, and I can prove it. I couldn't do this if I wasn't real, could I? See, you're real, too. Ooh. Yeah, man, are you real? Now, tell old Santa what you want for Christmas.
Okay, I want a teddy bear and an atomic submarine and a huge big dollhouse.
Hey, you're a greedy little chick, ain't you?
See, Mommy, he is a pony. He can't get anything for me.
No, I can't. Well, you just wait right here, and I'll be back faster than you say, good King Wentz. Wentz. I'll be back real quick.
Santa Claus is like him that make it tough for us little kids to believe in Santa Claus.
Here you are, little doubting Thomas. Here you are. Here's your teddy bear, and your atomic submarine, and a great big giant dollhouse with wall-to-wall floors. How's that for an oh-ho-ho-ho-ho?
Wow, thanks, Santa.
But we can't afford all that.
Oh, perish the thought of paying, madam. Compliments of Kane's department store. We're all heart, even the elevators.
Thank you very much, Santa.
Merry Christmas, good old Santa.
Oh.
I'm so sorry I said those bad things, Santa. I love you. I do.
And like vice versa. I'm getting pretty misty. Here. Merry Christmas.
Whenever Maynard goes to work, he's generally a square peg in a round hole. But when he got that job as a Santa Claus, for the first time in his life, he was a round peg in a round hole. And the holes weren't in his head. You see, he was born for that kind of work. Being kind to kids, giving away things, making people happy. He wasn't just a fella in a Santa Claus suit. In his heart, Maynard was Santa Claus.
Like, oh, there, little tyke. Oh, like, bye, there, little tyke.
¿Me puedo decir lo que quiero para Navidad?
No offense, but like, like sayonara, like vamoose, you know. Nick!
Por favor, señor.
Oh, look, you've given me enough trouble to last through the whole month of Christmas, so like, hail and farewell, huh?
Feliz Navidad, señor Santa.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like, oh. Next, here we go. Come on, what are you gonna got? Oh, yeah.
Yes, Kane's department store had a few shaky moments, but Maynard got through that week, and finally the day came when we went down to watch him collect his salary.
Shh, here he comes. Now, for Pete's sake, don't tell him we came down here just to check on the money.
Like how? You came down to check on the money, huh? Well, don't upset your heads, good buddies. Here it is, and will you please give it to the kids at school for me?
You bet.
No, Zelda, no. Maynard, you earned this money, and I want you to hand it over to him yourself.
Him, Maynard?
Me, Maynard. You, Maynard. We trust you, and when we tell the kids at school what you've done, they'll be pleased and proud and
Try flabbergasted.
Okay, so they'll be flabbergasted, but only at first. They'll get over it. You'll see.
Yeah, I'll prove to them that I've changed, and they'll see how I've become reliable and dependable and trustworthy and grown up.
Krebs! At closing time, you left your shoes standing between Donder and Blitzen.
Sounds like, excuse me, your proprietorship. My feet got like bush.
Go get them. The shoes!
Like instantly, sir. Like even sooner, sir.
Dear, I wondered if I could get transferred to Ladies' Stylish Stouts.
What are you doing here? The store's closed. You gotta get out of here. Anyhow, you shouldn't ought to be here all by yourself on Christmas Eve. You ought to be home waiting for Santa Claus.
Por favor, señor.
Man, I really wish I was Santa Claus instead of make-believe, and then I could give you all them toys and... No, don't start hounding me for no more loot. I gotta give this back to the kids at school.
Por favor, no quiero su dinero.
I mean like adios. I mean, go pelly your tortillas. I bet you could use some tortillas now, huh? Here.
Ya tenemos.
That's all the loot I got, so like cut out now, huh, please?
No quiero su dinero.
Like adios, vamos, and hasty lumbago.
Hasta luego, señor.
Doggone it, I wish he'd hurry up. The kids at school. Oh, hi, Maynard. Everything okay? You ready?
Well, it all depends how you look at
Hey,
it.
let's get over to the school and you can give the kids their money.
There's one thing, though.
Boy, I can't wait to see the looks in their faces when you hand it to them. They'll flip.
How they gonna have time to flip? They'll be too busy kicking my teeth out.
Oh, Maynard, you couldn't.
Maynard, you didn't. He did.
Kill him.
Maynard? Maynard, where are you? Come on out. We won't hurt you.
Maybe you won't. I will. Maynard. Dobie, here.
Maynard, where are you? You must have gone that way.
No, Dobie, I think he went this way.
Wait, let's figure this out logically. To get out of here, which way would a reasonable thinking person go?
That way, toward the exit.
You're right. Maynard must have gone this way.
Right.
Hey, Stella, go around there. Hey,
There he goes.
Hey.
Wait. Wait a minute. Dobie.
Oh, wait. Who are you?
What are you doing here?
Por favor, señorita, no comprendo.
Oh, wait. Did you see a thin fellow with a beard run past here?
Dobie, I think he only speaks Spanish.
Yeah. El Señor Skinny avec le beard.
I said Spanish, not gibberish.
Yeah, well, Monsieur
Down,
Habang
Poopsie, down. I'll handle it.
Uh-huh.
Dígame, hombrecito, ¿sabes dónde fue el tipo descamisado con la barba?
Sí, señorita, ¿cómo no?
Zelda, you speak Spanish?
Pure Castilian, none of those regional dialects. Adelante, niño. ¿Dónde está el hombre de quien hablo? Es demasiado importante.
Está en la casa de mi papá. Ya le dije que no queríamos su dinero, pero los fue dando más y más. Somos pobres, pero no somos mendicantes.
What did he say, Zelda? What did he say?
Poopsie, our mystery solved.
Well, what did he say?
Come
What?
with us.
Zelda, stop with the secrets already. What did he say? What? Zelda, what?
Pepe shouldn't have taken the money, senor. Things are not good with us, but we are not beggars.
Nah, you folks need it more than us, than me. And it's only like money, just to help you folks get back on your feet. Well, truthfully, any day now. I mean, I can tell. I got tuition.
I think that is intuition, senor. You are very kind, senor, but we cannot keep the money.
Yes, you can, ma'am.
Oh, Dobie,
It's all right, Maynard. I understand.
This is my friend, Dobie Gillis, the best friend a fella could have. He would swim across Eckhart Lake
Yeah,
for me.
not now, Maynard. This is Zelda Gilroy. She's a friend of Maynard's, too.
To be considered a friend of Maynard's is a real privilege.
Me? Oh, come now.
You, mister.
You see, we are not wealthy people, but we have enough to celebrate the festivities in the fashion to which we are accustomed. Miren. This is our piñata. It hangs in our home for 9 days before Christmas, filled with candy and cookies and presents for the children, eh? When the celebration comes to an end, we play little game. The children are blindfolded, and with these long sticks, bang, 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 the children try to break the piñata and win for themselves all the presents that are inside.
Man, you get presents for breaking things? Where do I sign up to get in this family? I'd be loaded.
So here is the money, senor. You must take it back.
And no, senora, it's yours. Merry Christmas. Nana, senora, we won't miss the money. All we were going to spend it on was an old school dance anyhow.
But it is good for people to dance. Back home in Mexico, we love to dance so much that we make our own music. I beg of you, senor, take back the...
Senora, I'm a very stubborn caballero. I don't hear a word you say. Hey, we've got to go.
Yeah.
Come on, Zelda, Maynard. From all of us, a Merry Christmas to all of you.
Tasty and bagel.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Senor Santa.
Come and get it, kid.
Yeah, courtesy of Herbert G. Gillis, the friendly neighborhood grocer. Take it easy on the turkey, huh? Costs 58 cents a pound wholesale.
Classmate cronies.
Maynard, where are your bongos? We need them for dancing.
Well, it's like this, Dobe. I was bringing them, but on the way over, I ran into this ragged little wave. You, too? That's almost exactly what happened to me. Relax, Dobe. I took care of the whole shooting match. 1, 2, 3.
Buenas tardes, senor. Buenas tardes, senor Pepe.
You would not take back the money, so perhaps we can express our great gratitude to you with these gifts. The piñata with the presents for the children in it. Ponla ya. And the music, which will tell you what is in our hearts.
Thank you, senora. Senorita Zelda, may I have this dance?
You bet your boots, muchacho.
Hey, this is going to turn out all right after all. Senor Rini, may I have these dance?
You bet your serape, muchacho.
Excuse me. Arlene Francis, I presume. Maynard. Come on. Maynard. Maynard is a soft, warm-hearted boy.
I'm glad you changed your opinion of him.
Who changed their opinion? He is a soft, warm-hearted boy who's a dimwit.
Oh.
Just a little Christmas jollying.
You know, it's still early and I'm hungry. Let's get something to eat.
Good thinking. Let's go over to my house and I'll whip up some scrambled eggs.
Great.
And I got a whole big wad of mistletoe hung right over the front door.
Zelda, it's Christmas Eve.
What's that got to do with it?
Hey, Walter, what are you made up for?
Oh, I gotta be Santa Claus for my sister's kids, doggone it.
Doggone it, what kind of talk is that? Being a Santa Claus is an honor. Don't take it lightly, my good man. You call yourself a Santa Claus? Like, huh? Stick out that tummy, fluff up that beard, practice those oh-ho-hos.
Oh-ho-ho!
Oh, that's pathetic. Let's go oh-ho-ho, oh-ho-ho. Yeah, again, put your stomach into it. Oh-ho-ho,
don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. The master's gone away. One day he rode around the farm.
Proceed, Miss Forbes.
And so we see that in the new nations all over the world, there is a deep and growing interest in the political affairs among young people, while we are content to remain asleep, apathetic, disinterested, and even lackadaisical.
You'll forgive the interruption, my young scholars, and I use the term with my usual devil-may-care abandon. But despite appearances to the contrary, this is still a class in political science, not a jam session featuring the Kingston Trio.
Like where? Like where? Like where?
Mr. Krabs.
Who, my people have landed. Some cat said so. I heard him.
I'm the cat who mentioned them, Mr. Krabs.
Oh, like, thank you, your cap and gown ship, sir. I mean, sir, you're like a real human being.
Mr. Krabs.
And that ain't easy, considering you're a teacher.
People say that we members of the younger generation are alert, level-headed, and solid. There's only one trouble. The people who say it are we members of the younger generation. I'm afraid our teachers and parents have a somewhat different opinion. To them, we're often lost and bewildered, while they know exactly what they're doing and where they are.
I haven't the vaguest idea where we are.
Miss Forbes had just finished her report.
Oh, yes. Now it all comes back to me, I'm afraid. All right. Was anyone in this class paying enough attention to tell me what she was talking about?
Certainly, Mr. Pomper. The delightful Miss Forbes was explaining how college kids in other countries take an interest in politics and current events and all like that.
Amazing, Miss Forbes. Somebody out there was listening.
But of course, when Ursula Forbes speaks, Dobie Gillis listens. May I comment, Miss Forbes, that it was a most fascinating report.
Why, thank you.
And so beautifully expressed.
How sweet of you to say so.
How wonderful of you to be you.
How charming you are.
How lovely you are.
How ridiculous to call this a class. Eh, Mr. Gillis?
Yes, sir.
Now listen, all of you. We are here to discuss important thoughts and principles, not to listen to the wailing of some off-key ballad singers. The locker rooms are filled with the sound of music. You can't throw a rock around here without hitting a guitar player. That's the best idea I've had all day.
Mr. Pomper, no offense, but what's wrong with folks singing folk songs?
There's nothing wrong with it, Mr. Gillis, provided the right folks are doing the singing. Now, these tunes were created by honest working people who sang them to make their work go easier. There's a vast difference between that and some crew-cut baritone wearing a pair of custom-made blue jeans and a hand-tailored neckerchief singing, "I've been working on the railroad." That's the way I feel about it, and you can call me an old fogey.
You're an old fogey. That's the way he feels about it.
Why waste your time on pointless diversions like folk singing when you could be out doing important things?
Like, for instance, Mr. P.
Like, for instance, taking an interest in political affairs, Mr. K, the way students do in other countries.
You mean march in demonstrations and have riots?
And grow beards like them cats in Cuba?
I wouldn't dream of suggesting that you grow a beard, Mr. Krabs. Why, do you people realize that next week we are having a campus election to select one of you for the student council, and so far nobody's even bothered to get nominated?
But that's shocking.
Ursula, you approve of fellows who run for office?
Approve of them? Why, I think that entering politics is the finest, noblest, most wonderful thing a boy can do. Gee, when I see a fellow who feels as I do about such things, I want to throw my arms around him and hug him and kiss him and kiss him and hug him.
Mr. Pomper, I've decided to declare myself
a candidate for student council.
Yeah, how'd you know what I was going to say?
American know-how, Mr. Gillis.
You are looking at the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed candidate for the position of member of the student council. Why am I all of a sudden so interested in politics? It's simple. As a responsible citizen of the future, I consider running for office to be my right, my duty, my sacred privilege. And name me a better way to get a girl who's hot on this public service kick. But now that I'm involved, I'm discovering that the great game of politics is no laughing matter.
Dobie, you expect to be elected to student council? Boy, that is a laugh.
Come on now, knock it off, Zelda. Why couldn't I get elected? All it takes is brains and personality and tact and a willingness to work hard, and I just answered my own question.
Now, don't give up the ship so fast, Poopsie. I have run this question through my giant brain, and I devised a plan that could get you elected.
Oh, that's wonderful. Zelda, you're a magnificent human being. At Jim, What's the catch?
What catch? I'm simply going to run your entire campaign for you, that's all.
I see, and that means running me too, doesn't it?
You bet your boots, Buster.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lump, Zelda, but no thanks. I decline. No, negative,
Don't argue, lover. I'm taking over.
Zelda.
You are looking at all 8 Kennedy women rolled up into one cute-as-a-button package of dynamite.
Zelda.
Now, I am going to be your campaign manager, because if you've already got one, it's bound to be Maynard, and he couldn't get you elected dog catcher.
Hey, Doe, you running for dog catcher?
Zelda, Maynard's not my campaign manager. My campaign...
Am I interrupting anything?
Yes, my campaign manager is Ursula Forbes, and she's going to get me elected because she's deeply in love with me.
In love with you? Oh, come now.
Oh, come now.
Maynard, you're supposed to be on my side.
Dobie, mark my words. Inside of 24 hours, you'll be begging me to take over your campaign.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you why. Ursula Forbes is the prettiest girl in the class with a gorgeous face and a stunning figure, right?
Right, so?
So with all that, what does she need with a schnook like you? No offense. See you around, Buster.
Well, you're an absolute cinch to be elected, Dobie Dumplin. You're charming and lovable and honest, and I just found out that you're the only candidate.
Well, that does help.
Wrong, Gillis, baby, wrong. I, Chatsworth Osborne Jr., have decided to throw my chapeau into the ring and run against you, Dobie-Doo.
Chatsworth, I don't get this. I mean, why would a blue-blooded, aristocratic, rich millionaire like you want to run for an unimportant little student body office?
I doubt that your breed would understand, Gillis, baby, but I'm a candidate because of what is called noblesse oblige.
Watch that kind of talk, Chatsy, the lady president.
Noblesse oblige, my unilingual bumpkin, means simply that noble rank requires noble conduct. That's French.
Flake off, Chatsy, that's English.
Oh, hush up, you low-born person. You are a perfect example of why we members of the upper class must enter the grimy arena of politics to keep power out of the hands of the hoi polloi.
Don't look at me, Chatsworth. I don't dig that Hawaiian food.
Chatsworth, I'll admit you're a superior fellow. And that's why you're going to lose the election. People don't vote for superior people. They vote for people like themselves. Plain, ordinary, down-to-earth. In short, me.
Your point is well taken, Dobie-Doo, well taken. And if it were just superior me running for office, I would probably lose to inferior you. But it's not just superior me.
Somebody else is running with you?
Troubadours! Here, Dobie-Doo, is my secret weapon. Gather round, good people, gather round. Hi, welcome, music lovers. I am Chatsworth Osborne Jr., candidate for the Student Council. And for my first number, I shall sing Just an Echo. And 1 and 2.
Just an echo
Ooh, ooh,
in the valley,
ooh, ooh.
but it brings back sweet memories of you.
Thank you, beloved voters. Remember, vote for Chatsworth Osborne Jr. for Student Council. A man who sings the songs of the people, understands the people.
The people.
Chatsworth, I bet you haven't got the nerve to tell the voters what platform you're running on.
Well, candidate Gillis, what platform are you running on, pray tell?
Pray tell.
A real platform. Fellow students, the issues facing the student body of this school are many and varied. First of all, what's to be done about the deplorable trash collection system on our campus?
Hey, Chatsworth, give us another song.
But what about the issues?
What about more music?
When the people command, I obey.
He obeys.
Hey, look, I'm not finished.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Now cut that out.
Just an echo
Ooh, ooh.
in the valley.
Oh,
Ursula, my angel. Not
but
you,
it
too.
brings back memories of you.
Yep, this is it. Innsville, Finis, the end of the brief but miserable political career of Dobie Gillis. I mean, I don't mind getting walloped in a fair scrap, but how could I fight Chatsworth's low, mean, sneaky, underhanded tricks?
By cooking up low, mean, sneaky, underhanded tricks of your own.
That's out of the question. I'm not that kind of a fellow.
True, but I'm that kind of a girl.
She's right, though. She's pretty low, mean, and sneaky.
True.
Like the lowest.
Maynard.
Like the meanest.
Maynard.
Like the sneakiest.
Zelda, I appreciate your willingness to help in my hour of need, but I refuse to do anything that isn't completely open and above board. And what'd you have in mind?
Yeah, now you're talking. Come here, Dope.
Hey, Zelda.
And voila!
Zelda, what is this?
Can't you see? It's a voila.
I am going to teach you to sing 10 times better than old Chatsworth, and that's how you're going to skunk him in the election.
Me?
Him?
And Maynard.
Now, can the small talk, man. We got work to do.
Zelda, if this is a trick to win me away from Ursula, you might as well quit right now. Ursula and I will love each other night and day, heart and soul, till the end of time.
Sure. Now, Dobie, it's important that you're prepared to project a proper image of a man of the people.
Yeah.
Now, come on, stand up. Now, look virile. Brush your hair in your eyes.
Are you kidding? Absolutely not.
If you don't, Chatsworth will blister you.
Brush.
I'm brushing. Never mind, Maynard.
Now, it's essential that you have sex appeal. Flex your muscles.
Yeah.
Now give me a troubled, world-weary look.
Oh, come now.
Hold on, Maynard. Now, Dollface, there's a certain way of speaking that's vital to the success of any political candidate. Low and breathy.
Yeah.
Now, let me hear you say, "Hi there, everybody."
Hi there, everybody.
No. Lower and sexier and more...
Hi there, everybody.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Now, Dreamboat, let's put all the parts together. Low, breathy voice.
Hi there, everybody.
Flex muscles. Troubled, world-weary look, and plenty of sex appeal. Love me tender.
Love me. That's right. Look, Zelda, look. You and I are not destined to go strolling down life's highway hand in hand. So I hope you're doing this simply because you're convinced I'm the right candidate for the job.
Of course, Poopsie. Low, breathy voice.
Hi there, everybody. And you want to see the best man win?
Of course, Pumpkin. Flex your muscles.
You're lying, aren't you?
Of course, Snookums. Plenty of sex appeal.
Jug, I love you so. Jug, I love you so. Jug, I love you so.
Thank you, my loyal followers. Now, I could discuss, and brilliantly, of course, the issues in tomorrow's election, as my late, unlamented opponent sought to do, but why interrupt our fun and games for trivialities?
Trivialities?
So since the winner is a foregone conclusion, let the merrymaking continue undiminished.
Hold it, members of the electorate.
Yeah, hold it to electrical task.
Now, don't tell me you're going to vote for Chatsworth Osborne Jr. without even bothering to hear what his opponent has to say.
Yup, that's exactly what we're saying.
You hear, my fair campaigner? The people have spoken. They want no pompous phrase maker, rather someone they understand. Someone they dig. Someone who speaks their own language.
Hi there, everybody. Mind if I drop in and sing some songs of the people?
Heavens to dollars.
Wow, Gillis got the message.
When I was a lad, spent many hours down at the river's edge, listening to the old men tell their stories and sing their songs. This song has always been a very special favorite of mine. We've added some words which I think makes it even more important during this election.
The name's Dobie Gillis.
The name's Dobie Gillis.
And I'm here to say. I hope you'll elect me.
I hope you'll elect me.
Come election day. Just plain Dobie Gillis.
Just plain Dobie Gillis.
No rich
millionaire. When I'm in office.
But when I'm in office.
I'll treat you all square. Everybody sing, there's two things I care for.
There's two things I care for.
And here's what they are. To do me some singing. And strum my guitar. Everybody say if you like singing.
So if you like singing.
And yodeling too.
Then
vote for old Dobie. A square buckaroo. See a little louder. So if you like singing. And yodeling too. Then vote for old Dobie. A square buckaroo.
Divine.
Zelda.
You see, now lower and breathier.
Zelda.
Better. You see, Poopsie, how well my idea, I repeat, my idea worked?
Dobe, you're a great American like Christopher Columbus or Mahatma Gandhi.
I'm merely one of the people.
Or King Henry VIII or Jack Parr.
I'm merely one of the people with a low, breathy voice, flexed muscles, a troubled, world-weary look, and lots of sex appeal, just like you all. So elect me already.
not agree with what you say, but I shall defend to the death your right to say it. That was the famous French philosopher Voltaire. Now hear the underpaid American teacher Pomfret. Class dismissed.
Wait a minute, kids, wait a minute. There will be another concert by your candidate and mine, the People's Choice, the sweet singer of S. Peter Pryor Junior College, Dobie Gillis, in the college yard in 5 minutes.
Yay, Dobie! I just do my best is all. Did you say something, Mr. Pomfret?
Yes, Mr. Gillis. I said, That's HMPHHH. H.
Oh. Well, I'll be seeing you, Mr. Pomfret. I've got to go out and do a little singing for my public. Oh, say, you wouldn't like to come along and listen, would you?
That's right, I wouldn't.
Mr. Pomfret, I get the impression that you don't like what I'm doing.
Well, what difference does it make what I like?
Well, you're the one who made the big speech about us kids getting interested in campus politics.
But I said politics, not show business. Politics has to do with issues, not entertainment. If entertainment were the most important qualification for holding office, Frank Sinatra should be in the White House.
I understand he often is.
Save your jokes for your audience, Dobie. Don't waste them on me. I can't even vote in a student election.
Look, I don't understand. You say go into politics. Okay, I'm in politics. Well, if a guy's in politics, he ought to win, shouldn't he? And if folk singing's a way to win, what's wrong with it? My first duty's to get elected, isn't it?
No, it is not. Your first duty is to tell the voters what you stand for, the issues.
Well, I tried to talk to the kids about issues. They just ignored me.
Well, that's often the case. The flashy, gaudy candidate gets the crowds. The thoughtful one gets left at the post.
You're darn right.
I'll tell you a strange thing, Dobie. The winner is the loser.
The winner's the loser?
If you want to be a leader of the people, then you must lead. You must deal in ideas, in truth, in vision. You must appeal to the people's minds. Now, I'll admit it's a lot harder to set a bunch of people's minds to working than it is to set their toes to tapping. But if you aim at their toes instead of their heads, then what have you won, Dobie? How have you improved or advanced anything? You haven't led, you've followed.
I think I understand.
Well, I truly hope that you do, Dobie. Because the future of all of us depends on just that kind of understanding. And if we don't understand, I'm afraid we could all be in for a lot of deep, deep trouble. Now, always remember, Dobie, one man in the right constitutes a majority.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the people, that low, breathy voice, Dobie Gillis.
Fellow students, the time has come to discuss the issues. I insist that you not vote for me simply because you like the way I sing. As citizens of the future, it is our duty to think, to study the grave matters of we cannot ignore the problem of trash collection on this campus. Students, Mr. Pomfret, you say that one man in the right constitutes a majority?
It's true, Mr. Gillis.
I'd like you to meet a majority of one.
Say goodbye to me. Get along home. Cindy, get along home. Cindy, get along home. Cindy, I'll marry you someday. She told me that she loved me. She called me Sugar Plum. She throws her arms around me. I thought my time had come. Get along home. Cindy, get along home. Cindy, get along home.
Dope, you're gonna win tomorrow, because I got another idea. You tell everybody Chats is a trunk murderer. That don't mean he murders trunks, he takes people. Enough?
Good thing.
Cool at the buzz.
All right, kids, knock it off. I said knock it off.
Were you addressing me, officer?
Do you have a permit for this here clam bake?
No, sir, but they always let us play here all day long.
All day long is different, but it's nighttime now. The neighbors are complaining.
Chadsworth, don't let that music hater scare you.
Oh, knock that off, girlie. I happen to be a pretty fair singer myself.
Oh, come on.
All right, I'll show you. Just listen. Give me the key of C, Sonny, and that's an order. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, Or they steal your heart. Heart away.
That last note, wow!
That's the last note you'll be hearing in these parts tonight. Now move along, all of you.
Officer, suppose we refuse.
And it's off to the pokey with you.
The pokey?
Bread and Watersville.
We're moving.
Stay where you are, Chatsworth. This is a free country, and as a citizen, you've got a right to be heard.
Says who?
Says the Constitution of the United States. That's who says. It guarantees us liberty and freedom of speech and assembly.
I'm quite sure that it does, Gillis, baby, but let's forget it for the time being, shall we? Okay, let's move along there, okay, gang?
Stand your ground, Chatsworth. I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.
Now look here,
Let him send you to jail, Chatsworth. I'll be there, too, sharing your ball and chain.
Ball and chain? What an unimaginative haberdasher.
Be firm, Chatsworth.
Thanks loads, Gillis, baby, but no thanks. When Osborne goes to jail, it'll be for something he believes in, like cheating on his income tax.
All right, the rest of you now, move along.
No, stay where you are.
We're with you, Dobie, but we need a leader, don't we?
Yeah! I accept the nomination.
Nomination.
When Dobie stands up and fights, we say hooray, hooray. When Dobie stands up and fights, we say hooray, hooray. When Dobie stands up and fights, we say we're for Dobie and Dick, hooray, and we'll all stand up.
Fellas, wait a minute.
Stand up and fight, we say hooray, hooray. Stand up and fight, we say hooray.
Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage.
Maybe that works with you, good buddy. But man, they sure got me penned in here.
Maynard, at least I was locked up on a matter of principle. You're getting in here with sheer foolishness.
Yeah, I was the first guy in the history of the police department to get pinched for breaking into jail.
Maynard.
What got him mad was I made it. But I wanted to be here with you, good buddy. You sure they haven't beat you with a rubber hose yet?
Positive, Maynard.
Oh, Dobie, my poor lamb, you look horrible. What have they done to you?
Zeld, it's me.
Maynard.
Oh, my poor ex-convict.
Zelda, don't use did you say ex-convict?
Oh, yes, you're a free man. Maynard, too. The kids at school put in all their nickels and dimes and quarters to raise bail for you. Poopsie, you're a hero.
Me?
Him?
Maynard.
Listen, they all came to march you home.
Gee, that's wonderful of them.
Guard, come release these prisoners at once. Oh, Dobie Dumplin', the second you get out of that cell, I'm going to throw my arms around you and kiss you and hug you forever and ever. Dobie, you do want to get out, don't you?
I'm thinking...
Dobie!
I don't want to get out. I was just kidding. Zelda, you're wonderful. I don't know how I can ever thank you.
Don't worry, Dope. She'll think of a way.
You bet I will, Rainbow. You bet I will.
Zelda, please.
Zelda, please.
Now cut that out.
When Dobie stands up and fights, we say hooray, hooray. When Dobie stands up and fights, we say hooray, hooray. When Dobie stands up and fights, we say we're for Dobie and Dick, hooray. We'll all stand up for Dobie and Dick, hooray. When Dobie stands up and fights, we say hooray, hooray. When Dobie stands up and fights, we say hooray, hooray.
Congratulations, Dobie.
I hope you mean it, sir, because I won on the issues alone.
Alone.
That's right, Mr. Pomfret.
That's right, Mr. Pomfret.
Maynard.
Yeah, well, seeing as how you campaigned and won entirely on the issues,
Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
I see nothing wrong with having a little music to celebrate. D7, please. There are smiles that make us happy. There are smiles that make us blue. There are smiles that steal away the teardrops as the sunbeams steal away the dew. There are smiles that have a tender meaning.
Hi, Maynard.
Well, like, hi, Dobe. I've been riding a taxi cab. Man, that's living. Make way for old Maynard G. Krebs riding in a taxi cab.
What happened? You hurt your foot or something?
Oh, nothing like that, Dobe. It's just all my life, ever since I've been an itty-bitty baby, I wanted to ride in a taxi cab. When I finally got rich, that's what I done.
You got rich?
Just sitting back there and everybody looking in and saying, well, what do you know? Old Maynard G. Krebs riding in a taxi cab.
Maynard, how?
Oh, it's easy, Dobe. All you gotta do is go, cab, and you get in, you shut the door.
No, Maynard. How'd you get rich?
Well, it's like easy, Dobe. All you need is lots of money.
Yeah, I know, Maynard. But where'd you get the money?
What money?
The money to go goofing around in a taxi cab.
Oh, a squirrel gave it to me. Come on, Dobe.
Yeah. A squirrel gave it to you? My friend Maynard G. Krebs has come up with quite a few Lulus in his day. But you've got to admit that the story about the squirrel's pretty much of a super Lulu, even for Maynard. If you didn't know Maynard, you'd say that he was stretching the truth. But that's not exactly so. By now, he's probably got himself half convinced that he really did get some money from a squirrel. The thing to remember about Maynard is that he lives in a little far-off world of his own.
The bunny farm?
Yep, that's where they're going to send you if you tell anybody else that story about the squirrel.
But it's like true, Dobe.
Maynard, enough. You know and I know that the squirrel is all fantasy.
Not this squirrel, Dobe. This squirrel is all heart and a very generous squirrel. And I'll give you $41.37.
$41.37. Rather odd, isn't it?
What's so rather odd about it? I mean, I'm all the time giving him stuff like old peanuts and candy, and if he should have some old money lying around, why shouldn't he give it to me?
Look, Maynard, a squirrel doesn't just walk up to you and give you $41.37.
Like true. He didn't walk, he like hippity hop. You know, like. Hi, Mr. Parker, sir.
Class will be seated. And you, Mr. Krebs, will hippity-hop back to your seat like a good bunny rabbit.
Oh, not a bunny rabbit, Mr. Pomfret, sir. A squirrel. I was just telling Doe about the squirrel.
Enough, Mr. Krebs. And a word to the wise. Steer clear of squirrels.
Hey, Doe, what do you think Mr. Pomfret meant by saying steer clear of...
Mr. Krebs!
Present.
May I remind you that yesterday, for whispering in class, I imposed a punishment on you not usually given beyond grammar school?
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead and what?
Go right ahead and remind me.
I just want you to realize, Mr. Krebs, that it is very seldom a junior college student is kept after class to clap erasers. Now, where was I?
Like back there by your desk.
Mr. Krebs.
Like, don't mention it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm late. And I'm afraid class is going to be very short today. The fact is that I'm in a foul mood because I didn't have any breakfast. And the reason I didn't have any breakfast is that the gas company has turned off my gas. Also, the electric company has turned off my electricity, and the water company has turned off my water. These calamities have befallen me for the simple reason that I failed to pay my bills.
I don't care if you flunk me for saying it, Mr. Pomfret, but you teachers deserve an increase in wages.
And more pay, too.
Thank you, but you mistake my meaning. It wasn't that I didn't have the money. My wife gave it to me yesterday morning. And I put it right here in the top left-hand drawer of my desk. Unfortunately, I forgot it when I left school, and when I returned for it an hour later, it was gone.
You mean somebody took it?
All $41.37.
$41.37?
Exactly. Students, and I use the term loosely, of course, I have devoted many long and tedious hours trying to educate you. Believe me, it's been an uphill battle. However, I don't expect anyone to build me a statue for it. In fact, I don't even expect a simple thank you. But stealing money out of my desk, this I really don't have coming. I'm pained and deeply disappointed. Frankly, I just don't know what else to say, so class is dismissed for today. Now, the homework assignment, as you may remember, is to read 20 pages in your textbook for tomorrow. Let's make that 60 pages instead. And no excuses will be accepted.
Like, wow, the gas company turned off the gas. I mean, that's like tough. You couldn't even kill yourself if you wanted to.
Maynard, I think we ought to have a little talk.
Just a minute, Dobe. I'm trying to figure out who the dirty rat was that swung with Mr. Pomfret's gold.
Why don't we figure it out together?
You mean like be detective?
That's right.
Oh, dude, that's a swinging idea. I'll go home and get my magnifying glass and my Sherlock Holmes hat.
I don't think that'll be necessary, Maynard. Somehow I feel that the man we're looking for has been less than diabolically clever.
Oh, yeah, Dope. They always make that one fatal mistake, huh?
Mm-hmm. The one we're after just set a new world's record. For instance, there's the amount of money taken, $41.37. Ring any kind of a bell?
Oh, yeah, Dope. I'm way ahead of you. All we gotta do is search everybody on campus, and when we find the $41.37, we got him.
You're forgetting motive and opportunity.
I am?
Whoever took the money would have needed two things, motive and opportunity.
Oh, yeah, now we're getting there. Whoever took the money would need two things, motive and opportunity. Sounds just like Perry Mason.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
Well, motive would mean a reason to take the money, like an overpowering urge to do something expensive.
Like riding a taxi cab or like that?
Like that. And as far as opportunity goes...
Yeah, tell me about that, though.
Well, Maynard, anyone who was kept after school would have had a perfect... Maynard.
What's the trouble, Dope?
Maynard, don't you feel the web closing in on you?
Web? What?
Maynard, you know what you told me this morning about getting rich?
Yeah?
Well, get poor again, Maynard. Give the money back.
Oh, don't be silly, Dope. What does a squirrel need with all that money? He'd rather have, like, nuts and candy.
Maynard.
Yeah, Dope?
Maynard.
I'm right here, Dope.
Maynard.
I hate to say this, good buddy, but I think your needle's like stuck.
Maynard, give the money to Mr. Pomfret.
Yeah, I already thought of that, and man, he sure could use it, but it's all gone.
Are those your last words?
Oh, no. None of them last word jazz for me. I mean, there's songs to be sung and flings to be flung and taxi cabs...
Okay, Maynard, if that's the way it is, this puts us on different sides of the fence.
What fence, Dope? I don't see no fence.
What I'm trying to say is, this is it.
This is what? Hey, Dope, but don't you feel well? I mean, you look plenty scroungy. I mean, want us to help you get home? Oh, gee, it's too bad I spent all that squirrel money, or I could take you home in a taxi cab.
Maynard, that does it.
Poor Dope. Hit him just like that. Hey, Dope, wait up. Hey, Dope! Dope!
Never mind the conversation. Just answer this question. Are you or are you not going to give back the money?
To a squirrel?
Goodbye, ex-good buddy.
Oh, it's rigged, that's what. Hey, Dope, wait. Please, Dope. Hey, Dope. Dope, wait up, Dope. Dope. You know something, Dope? I think you're trying to duck me.
You're not going to give back the money?
What money?
You're right.
About what?
I am ducking you.
Like, wow. Ooh, man, you busted through the sound barrier. I mean, you're in orbit. I mean, you're gone. I mean, talk to me, good buddy. I mean, say anything. Something. I mean, just nod. Blink your eyes. Wiggle your ears. Talk to me!
Hello, boy.
Now, don't have hysterics, Mrs. G. Dope is pretty sick.
Sick?
Like, lost his voice and everything.
Lost his voice?
That's all right, Mom. I'm okay.
Hey, Dope, your voice like came back.
What's this all about?
Would you kindly tell Maynard that there's nothing wrong with my voice? I'm just not talking to him anymore, that's all.
I think he's like delirious.
And I'm not delirious either.
I see. You boys have had a quarrel.
Dad, I got to talk to you for a minute.
Sure thing, son. I don't know, Mrs. G. All of a sudden he just flipped. But don't you worry. It's times like this when a fella needs his good buddy the most, and I'm sticking by old Dobe.
And before you say one word, son, I want you to remember that I was a boy once myself. Now, what's your trouble? Short?
Yes, sir.
How much do you need? I happen to be in a benevolent mood. 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits?
$41.37.
Yeah, what'd you say, boy?
I said I needed $41.37.
You know, Winnie, I think you're right. I better go see an ear doctor. I swear that Dobie just said he needed $41.37, and that's exactly what he did. So what's the matter with you? Have you tossed your toupee completely?
Now, Herbert.
I've got to have it, Dad.
You gotta have it. What are you gonna do with it? Corner the gold market?
Well, I can't tell you, Dad. I just need it.
It's okay, Mr. G. He's like delirious.
Yeah, I'll pay you back out of my wages.
Out of your wages? Boy, you are into me now, down until the last part of the 23rd century.
Now, Herbert, if the boy has got to have the money, he has got to have the money.
And if the man who invented the English language had left out 2 little words, I would be a rich man today. 2 crummy little words.
Now, Herbert.
Them's the words. Now, Herbert, you're gonna now Herbert me into the poorhouse.
A boy would not ask you for the money if he didn't need it. Can't you see that this is serious?
Serious, huh? Well, $41.37 is no laughing matter either, you know.
$41.37? Such an odd amount.
There's a lot of it going around.
$41.37.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Think nothing of it. It's just my life's blood.
You're a fine man, Herbert. That's what you are.
No, I am a fine man who is completely out of his skull. That's what I am.
Well, I've got to go now, and thanks again.
Well, I gotta go now, so thanks again.
Send us a card from Monte Carlo, sports. Oh, boy. If I ain't the softest touch this side of the Jolly Ranch, I'll put in with you.
Now, Herbert.
There it is again, Minnie. Cut that out, girl.
This is Maynard G. Krebs. Today a name, tomorrow perhaps a number. Unless desperate measures are taken, and quickly. Poor Maynard. He certainly doesn't look like a criminal. He looks more like a... Well, he's my friend. He's in enough trouble already without going into that. But somehow, somewhere, he took a wrong turn or something snapped in his head. And it's up to me to save him.
Hey, Doe, what are you doing?
I'm gonna put the money back in Mr. Pomfret's desk.
Oh, what money?
$41.37.
Oh, how come? Shh, quiet.
Hold it!
Dobie!
Oh, hi, Mr. Pomfret. I was just...
You?
Look, you got it wrong, Mr. Pomfret.
Yeah, you got it wrong, Mr. Pomfret.
Exactly $41.37.
Oh, now, just a minute, Mr. Pomfret. I didn't take that money.
Yeah, he didn't take that money.
Well, then why are you returning it?
Yeah, why are you returning it? I mean, Doe, if you got an answer, now's a good time to come up with it.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, like waiting.
Mr. Pomfret. Mr. Pomfret, I didn't take that money, but I know who did.
See? I knew he had an answer. He didn't take that money, but he knows who did. Come on, tell us, good buddy. Come on.
Why don't you tell us, Maynard?
Dobie, you can't possibly be accusing Maynard of taking that money.
I'm not saying I am, and I'm not saying I'm not.
What are you saying?
I'm not saying.
For shame, Dobie.
Yeah, like for shame.
Now, I admit I don't understand what could possibly have come over you to make you steal that money, a fine, decent boy like you. But you have done it. Now, isn't that bad enough? Dobie, isn't stealing disgraceful enough? Do you have to lie, too?
But, Mr. Pomfret...
That's such a pathetic lie, accusing Maynard. Well, we all know that he's,
Different?
Yeah, different. Different. But underneath that shabby exterior, there beats the pure and simple heart of a child. For shame, Dobie.
But, Mr. Pomfret...
Now, Dobie, you've made restitution. And as far as I'm concerned, the case is closed.
But I'm innocent, I tell you, innocent.
Life goes double for me.
I tell you, I didn't take the $41.37. So go be a big hero. See what it gets you. Mr. Pomfret thinks I stole his money. I owe my dad $41.37, hard labor. And my mother keeps looking at me like she expects me to elope or something. President Kennedy said things were going to get worse before they got better. But I didn't know he was referring directly to me.
Like, hi, Doe, you notice anything different about me?
Maynard, go away.
I'll give you a hint. Look at my feet. Look, I'm not wearing sneakers anymore. I'm wearing shoes with real hard toes on them. My old army shoes. You want to know why?
No.
Here's why. I'll tell you what that's for. That's for being mean and rotten enough to steal from a nice man like Mr. Pomfret. Oh, man, you're sunk pretty low on the human scale. I mean, you're down there at the bottom of the ocean with them wriggly, squiggly jellyfish who nothing but sit around all day and steal oysters from each other.
Oh, there you are, Dobie.
Oh, Mr. Pomfret.
Now, hold on just a minute, Dobie. I've got something to say to you.
So have I. I didn't take your money.
Of course you didn't. I realize that now.
Oh, gee, Mr. Pomfret, you've certainly
It
taken
wasn't
a load
the
off.
real you that took that money. It was just somebody who looks like you.
He doesn't look too much like me.
Think of it. I do notice a certain cruelty around the eyes, a certain ruthlessness about
Look,
that
I'm
jawline.
talking about my ex-friend Maynard G. Krebs, boy crook.
Please, Dobie. I happen to know that Maynard is taking this very hard, and so am I. I confess I didn't sleep a wink last night. I just lay there and wondered what could drive a nice boy like you to a life of crime.
Well, stop wondering, Mr. Pomfret. If you listen to
Everything
what I
all
have
right
to
at home, Dobie?
Fine, Mr. Pomfret. Look,
Yeah,
what
your
I
parents
want-
get along all right?
Great, Mr. Pomfret.
There's
Look,
no frictions, resentments, subconscious
everything's
rivalry?
fine at home. Great, grand, wonderful, since...
Hyper-defensive. Immediate hostility at the mention of home life.
Yes, please, Mr. Pomfret. All I wanted to do...
Don't worry, Dobie. If you can be saved, we'll save you. Beautiful, Mr. Gillis. Beautiful.
Yeah, say, that is kind of aesthetic-like. Hey, Pomfret, I want to talk to you.
Well, that makes it unanimous,
Look,
Mr. Gillis.
what are you teaching that kid of mine up there at the college? Crap shooting, roulette, or what? He's in here a few minutes ago and nicked me for $41. Now listen, Pop, and 37 cents. I want my boy to get a good education,
Now,
but
hold
after
it
all,
a minute,
I
Mr.
am not
Gillis.
made of money.
Hold it a minute. Before you continue with this sound and fury signifying nothing, I have one or two things to say to you.
Start talking, it is your nickel.
Now, in the first place, although you might consider yourself a diamond in the rough, my own evaluation is of a somewhat lower order.
Would you mind breaking that down into simple United States?
I'd be delighted. In simple United States, Mr. Gillis, I consider you a loudmouth blowhard.
And I consider you are looking for a knuckle sandwich, Chauncey.
Well, if you wish to resort to the physical after I am finished, I shall be delighted to accommodate you. Although it's been several years since I was intercollegiate middleweight champion.
Middleweight champion?
And now, where was I?
Loudmouth blowhard.
A loudmouth blowhard who has finally driven his son right smack over the brink.
Brink? Brink? Who's driven Dobie to the brink of what?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Gillis. That wasn't meant for your ears.
Herbert, what is he talking about?
Ooh, yeah, Pomfrey, what are you talking about? Let's have it.
Well, several days ago, a sum of money was stolen from my desk. And although your son still claims he's innocent, there's no doubt that he was responsible.
Dobie? Steal? Look, middleweight champ or not, you are coaxing a knuckle-infested upper plate, boy.
He is innocent. I know my son. He could never be a thief.
Look, Mrs. Gillis, I'm just as surprised as you are. Why, I've always regarded Dobie as a nice, decent, honest boy.
And you can bet your boots that is just what he is.
But the mind is a strange and unexplored thing. Psychological history is full of cases of boys who one day were decent, normal, law-abiding, and then suddenly, wham, without warning, overnight they're criminals. And where does it come from? Nobody knows. Hidden repressions, environment, perhaps a criminal streak in the family.
I always knew that criminal streak in your family would show up someday.
Now, just a darn minute. In the first place, there is no criminal streak in my family. And in the second place, it ain't due to show up for 2 more generations.
Are you sure there isn't some mistake?
No, I'm afraid not. I caught him trying to replace the $41.37 in my desk.
$41.37.
That's what he wanted with it, huh?
But don't forget, I caught him trying to replace that money. The boy can still be saved.
But why would he do it? Why?
Well, I don't want to be blunt, but in 9 cases out of 10, these things can be traced right back to the home.
The home? Winnie, that's you?
No, Mr. Gillis, I'm afraid that's you.
Me?
Certainly. How long has it been since you've actually communicated with your son, spent a day with him, had a good old father and son roughhouse?
Oh, roughhouse. I gave him a slight clap on the ear just last week. He was stacking the sauerkraut in with the canned peaches.
You've been too hard on the boy.
Oh, Winnie, I'm all shook up. I don't know what to say.
Just say that you'll try to be a buddy to your son, Mr. Gillis. Win back his affection.
That I will, Pompey, and thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gillis. No, and, if I said a few words in anger...
No, forget it. A little straight talk between friends never hurt anybody.
Mr. Gillis, you're a gentleman and a grocer.
Now, Herbert, when Dobie comes home...
Winnie, don't worry about a thing. I am going to win back that boy's affection if I have to break every bone in his head.
That is not exactly what
And
Mr.
that is
Pomfrey
not
said.
exactly what I mean either. Winnie, I mean, I'm going to be a father to that boy. You watch and see. Things are going to be just like they were when he was just a little shaver running with it. Dobie, my boy! Hey. Oh, come on in here, boy. I'm glad to see you.
What are you doing?
Oh, just a little old-fashioned roughhouse. Hey, you used to love this sort of thing, remember? Hey, how about that? How about that for a hold? There's still a lot of pepper in the old man, ain't there?
I don't like to interfere, dear, but I think you're strangling the boy.
Oh, don't want a roughhouse, huh?
Your dad's just trying to make a buddy of you, dear.
Oh, well, gee, that's swell, Dad.
Hey, I got it.
Got what?
Look, we're going to close up the store right now, and guess what?
What?
Give me your hand, son. You and I are going to the zoo. Yes, sir. We'll have ice cream and popcorn and pink lemonade,
Dad,
peanuts and...
Dad, please listen. They tore down the zoo.
They tore it down?
Yeah.
Oh, well, who needs an old zoo anyway? We'll have a lot of fun right here. Hey, remember this?
Dad, what are you doing now?
Play horsey-back.
Dad, I'm a college student and a veteran.
You always used to like to play horsey-back.
Mom, what's the matter with Dad?
He's just trying to win your affection, dear.
Now, I guess I'm just a failure as a father, that's all.
Oh, no, Dad, honest. I wouldn't call you a failure. A fizzle, maybe, but not a failure.
Well, I'm not giving up. See, you and I are going to be buddies or else. Now, hey, I got a great idea. Come on, Dobe. Let's you and I go out in the alley, huh? We'll play a little stickball. I'll show you how old Babe Ruth Herbert T. Gillis used to step up. I'm going up in line.
I'll help
You wearing shin guards?
Yeah.
You were? Man, that's smart.
That's what you get for being a no-good rat.
Oh, no, Dobe, you're the no-good rat. You took Mr. Pomfret's money, remember?
Maynard, enough. You might be able to fool Mr. Pomfret, but it's no use trying to fool me.
Oh, are you, like, confused?
Not anymore, Maynard. I used to be confused when I thought you were a good guy. But I sure found out better. First you steal Mr. Pomfret's money, and then you let me take the blame.
Boy, I sure hope you got your fingers crossed, cause you just told the biggest whopper in the history of the world.
Well, coming from you, that's a compliment, because you're the grand champion of all time. A squirrel walked up and gave you $41.37.
You're wrong, Dobie. Didn't walk. He, like, hippity-hopped. Like that.
Like what?
Like that. See, Dobie hardly walks at all.
Maynard, look. Maynard, I get it now. The squirrel took it.
Took what?
Mr. Pomfret's money.
Oh, no, Dobie, you're, like, confused again. You're the one who took Mr. Pomfret.
Maynard!
Now look what you've done. You scared the squirrel away. Hey, look, Dobie's heading for that hollow tree.
Maynard, forget the squirrel. Don't you know why I put that money back in the drawer? Because I thought you stole it and I wanted to protect you.
You did that for me, good buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you're all heart. There's only one thing.
What?
This.
What's that for?
For thinking I stole the money in the first place. Look, Dobe, there goes Mr. Pomfret. Come on.
Yeah. Come on, Mr. Pomfret. You'll see.
Well, I certainly hope I owe you an apology, Dobie, but I must say, is this the place?
Yeah, just like reach in.
Yeah. Well, don't seem to, wait a minute. See?
But this is yesterday's assignment sheet. And last week's, and... Holy mackerel.
What's the matter, Mr. Pomfret?
It's my wife's anniversary card, 3 weeks late. No wonder she's been feeding me beans.
Well, Mr. Pomfret, aren't you a little ashamed?
Of what?
Of jumping at conclusions and calling me a thief.
How about you jumping at conclusions and calling me a thief?
Well, how about you? You jumped at conclusions and you called me a thief and you kicked me, too.
Let's face it, boys. We all jumped at conclusions. And let that be a lesson to us. Look before we leap.
That's right. All that glitters is not gold.
That's right. Stuff a cold and starve a fever.
Mr. Gillis, we've both done your son a terrible injustice.
Yes, terrible.
What was that? What did he say?
Mrs. Gillis, your son is innocent of any wrongdoing. I'm afraid I've misjudged him greatly.
I knew my Dobie couldn't steal anything.
And so did I.
And so did I.
And so did I. Way down deep. Hey, Dope, can you lend me a quarter?
Oh, yeah, sure. I thought I had a quarter here. Nope. All I got's $1, and I need that for the streetcar, unless you can get it changed.
Gee, I don't know, Dope. The student store is closed. Oh, wait a minute. I got like an idea now. Wait a minute. Irving? Hi. Can you get me change, Irving, please? Come on, Irving.
see you found me.
Don't talk to me, you low-down rat.
Maynard.
I just figured it out, and you've been hiding from me, and you ought to be, like, ashamed. I mean, I got feelings. I'm a human person.
Maynard, I wasn't really trying to avoid you.
I
Honest,
trusted you, and you snuck away. Why would you commit such a hateful crime on such a sweet, lovable kid? Man, oh, man, what a dumbhead question. What's her name?
Lila Watkins. And wait till you see her, Maynard. She's exquisite. A princess, a duchess, an empress, a queen.
A royal highnessship like that hacking around with a common cat like you, Dobe? No offense.
And no offense, Maynard, and she is. She's got a job babysitting for one of the students, and I'm going to keep her company.
Uh-oh. Watch it, Dobe. She's trying to pull something sneaky. Anybody who's old enough to be a student don't have to be sat with by no babysitter.
Except you.
Except me. I went the last year.
Ah, there you are, Lila, my great tawny animal.
Gee, I'm sorry I'm late. Have you been waiting long?
Nope, I just got here.
Lila, my angel, this is my friend Maynard G. Krebs, and he was just leaving.
I was?
You was.
Okay. I wonder how you knew I was leaving. I mean, I didn't even know I was leaving. Ooh, what an age we live in.
I'm afraid it won't be much of a date for us tonight, Dobie. I mean, babysitting in a crowded little apartment, just the two of us. Well, what do we do?
Somehow, my dear, I'm pretty sure I'll think of something.
14. I'm sitting for a family named Brankowski.
Brankowski? So that's got to be Truck Horse Brankowski, the football player. I see him every day at practice. I'm the assistant manager of the team, you know.
Oh, goodness, how exciting. You must tell me all about it.
Oh, I shall. The very moment the baby's quiet and we're alone.
About time you kids got here. Me and the little woman, we got a class over to the night school.
Career, Truck Horse Brankowski's wrecked a lot of things. Tackles, guards, centers. Once an entire goalpost had got in his way, including the concrete foundation. But he wasn't going to wreck my unwreckable romance with Lila. Hey, look, Here, watch. Yep, it was a tough fight. And I've got the limp and the laundry bills to prove it. But at last the battle was over. The entire junior varsity was asleep. And I settled down to enjoy the fruits of my hard-earned victory. Almost.
Orville, he's coming down with the sniffles. I know it.
Orville?
Orville.
Oh, him, yeah.
All of a sudden, I remember how he sneezed twice this morning, right in the middle of the War of 1812.
The War of 1812?
That's what we were studying in the night school class when I remembered about the sneezing. Yeah. Daddy's coming, Orville. Hold that line there, boy.
I may vote to have football declared un-American.
But that sniffling teammate, Daddy will fix whatever hurts. Where does it hurt, Pumpkin?
Oh, for Pete's sakes, Bronk, what got into you? You barreled out of that classroom like it was 4th down and goal to go.
I couldn't help it, Ethel. I got to thinking about Orville.
Oh, Bronk is a big worrier.
Bronk is a big mystery.
Look how pale my poor little rookie looks. Rock on back, Orville, baby.
Bronk,
Daddy's
that
here.
isn't Orville, it's Sherwin.
Oh. Well, Sherwin don't look too good either.
Hiya there.
See, the way he babies those kids, they think he's their mother. Hey, come on, Bronk. Bronk, we gotta get back to class.
Yeah.
Bronk, we gotta get back to class.
Oh, I can't, Ethel. Not when Orville, or is it Sherwin is maybe coming down with something?
Okay. Now, we won't go back to class tonight, but you know it's gonna get you into a lot of trouble.
Well, what kind of trouble can a man get into by being kind to his kids?
Well, plenty. If he keeps fussing about the kids instead of paying more attention to his classwork and football, he is going to get tossed out on his ear. And it'll be goodbye college, hello coal mine.
Yeah. I'd hate to go back to digging, but the way I look at it, I got a responsibility to my squad here. I brought them into this world, with your help, of course, my dear. And I've got to see that they're taken care of right. I sure don't want to give up school. I want to graduate and be a coach. But if it's a toss-up between getting my degree and watching out for my kids, well, the kids win without even taking off their sweatshirts. What's the use talking? I'll never graduate anyhow.
What kind of quitter's talk is that? Truck Horse Brankowski never gives up.
Too late. I've been so busy, I missed playing in 3 games already this season. If I miss one more, Coach Murdoch is going to toss me off the team, and I'll be out of school for sure.
Dobie, it'd be such a terrible loss if Bronk didn't graduate and get to be a coach. Can't we do something to help?
We can sure try. I'm going to talk to Coach Murdoch. He's a rough, tough customer, but he doesn't scare me.
Get out of here, Gillis, before I stuff you and serve you up to the team as a tackling dummy.
Coach, I'm just asking you to give poor Bronkowski a break, please. Be reasonable, sir.
No.
Maybe we ought to explain to the coach what reasonable means. Your coachmanship, the word reason...
Crabs.
Your footballship?
You're second assistant to the assistant manager of the team, right?
Like right, and proud and honored to serve your gridironship.
One more bright crack out of you, and I'll have your job. Understand?
You ain't gonna be happy with it when you get it. It's an awful miserable job.
Crabs.
But if you're a little hard set on it, you can have it right now. Here's my water bucket. Your Mexican.
Only good manners. And my contract with the school is keeping me from tearing you to pieces. Now get out! Out!
Sportsmanship,
But what about Bronkowski, sir? He's a wonderful fella. Give him a chance to graduate and become a coach.
He's a great guy, but rules are rules. He's already missed playing in 3 games. One more, and I gotta throw him off the team. It's in the book.
But he only missed those games because he was so busy taking care of his family.
I'd do anything I could to help him. But I don't write the rules. I only carry them out.
Couldn't you make an exception, sir? Kids need men like Bronkowski to be their coaches and lead them.
I'm a family man myself. I know how Bronkowski feels.
Of course, sir. A man with such love and devotion to his family should be honored, not punished.
You're absolutely right, Gillis. Thank you for reminding me.
My pleasure, sir. Then Bronkowski can miss playing in a game once in a while if he happens to be busy with his family.
Are you kidding? He plays in every cotton-picking game on my schedule, or he's out on his ear.
But, Coach, you just agreed that a man's family comes first.
And if we don't start winning some games pretty soon, my family's gonna starve. So you go tell Bronkowski he better play this Saturday, and he better play good. Now get out!
Yes.
Gridironship?
Now what?
You keep the bucket. You deserve
Now, the way I see it, we've got to make sure that Bronk goes to all his classes and plays in all the remaining games, starting with this Saturday.
I've got a smashing idea. We could all help around the apartment. That should lift a big load off his mind.
Hey, we sure could, couldn't we, Maynard?
Yeah, you sure could.
Yeah, Maynard. We also means you.
I got to work up a faster getaway.
There's one other thing we can do. Try to talk my father into giving the Bronkowskis a discount on their groceries. And mentioning my father and a discount in the same breath is a sign of a weak mind, and I withdraw the suggestion.
Why, Dobie? I don't understand.
Well, I don't know exactly how to put it.
Put it? I know exactly how to put it. Your father's a tightwad is how to put it.
Maynard, please.
Dobie, your father couldn't be so cheap that he refused to help people like the Bronkowskis.
You're a new girl in town, ain't you?
Now, wait a minute. Let's be fair. Maybe when the facts are presented to him, Dad'll fool us all and be real eager to help.
Help? Sure, son. I'll be happy to help any deserving young friend of yours who's working his way through college and supporting his family. What can I do?
Give him all his groceries at a discount.
What is the matter with these kids nowadays? Don't they know how to hang on to a bug?
You're all heart, Mr. G.
Look, I had to work hard for everything I got in life. I didn't have any open-handed father named Generous T. Gillis like some kids I know, and I won't embarrass you by mentioning his name, Dobie, who get paid $1.50 an hour just to stand around the store and look like he's working.
Dad, I've got calluses on my hands from working so hard. The salary's 75 cents an hour, and you haven't paid me a penny of it since last Christmas.
Details. It's principle I'm interested in.
Well, there goes another sensational idea gurgling down the drain. Maynard, poor Bronkowski.
How come you didn't tell your father was Bronkowski?
No, I was afraid he'd be embarrassed if everybody knew he was temporarily short of money.
Why? I don't get embarrassed, and everybody knows I'm permanently short of money.
I promised Mrs. Bronkowski I'd pick up some baby supplies for her. I guess we'll just have to pay for him at Dad's regular prices, and there goes my salary till next Christmas. Dad, I want to talk to you.
What about them groceries for that friend of yours?
Yeah.
I ain't talking.
No, we'll pay the regular prices.
Cash?
Cash.
I'm talking. And, son, I am happy that you decided not to argue with me because, you know, I'm known in this neighborhood as a hard head.
No, Mr. G. What you're known around this neighborhood is...
Maynard. Help me with this shopping. Now, let's see. We'll need 20 packaged diapers, 6 cans of talcum powder, and 4 bottles of baby oil. That'll do it, Dad. How much do we,
$12.32, and don't bother checking the cash register. I can outsmart it every day of the week. Son, I know it's none of my business, but how come you're buying all of this baby stuff? Baby oil, diapers, talcum. What do you mean it's none of my business? Whose business is it if it isn't a father's?
What, Dad?
What's the name of this fella you're supposed to be buying all this stuff for?
Well, what's the difference, Dad? You wouldn't know him.
Try me.
Yeah,
Try me.
I'd rather not.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind telling you, Mr. G, he's
Maynard.
a stranger.
Stranger?
Irving W. Stranger.
All right, you smarties. Winnie! 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 Winnie!
Gee, Dad, I did forget something. I'll take a couple of dozen baby bottles.
Herbert, what's wrong? You were yelling so loud I thought the store was on fire.
Oh, I wish that all it was, Winnie, because we got insurance for that. Listen.
No. Yeah, I'd better take a couple of bottle warmers.
I rest my case.
Herbert, will you stop this? You're jumping to ridiculous conclusions. There's probably some perfectly simple explanation for the whole thing.
I've heard about these runaway marriages, but who'd ever think Dobie would do it to us? And a baby.
Gee, I think I'd better take a couple of dozen cans of strained baby food, too, Dad.
See, you're scared, too.
No, I am not. Dobie, I want to talk to you.
Yes, Mom?
Dear, I want you to tell your father the truth.
The truth about what?
About, you know, dear.
Mom.
About me being a grandfather and your mother being a poor old grandmother.
Then I must be an uncle.
No, you're not. You're a father. Weren't you listening at all when I explained them things to you?
Your ridiculously suspicious father has the ridiculously suspicious idea that you are secretly married and have a baby.
What? All right, tell me it ain't true.
It ain't true. It isn't true. Mom, Dad, what's the matter with you? Of course I'm not secretly married. Of course I'm not a father.
I knew it, I knew it.
Yeah, but what about all them diapers and baby food and cotton and stuff that you haven't paid for?
Dad, I've been trying to tell you. They're for this friend of mine, Bronkowski. I didn't want to let his name out.
Bronkowski. There is a phony name for a phony story if I ever heard one. The only Bronkowski I know is a football player. And I read in the paper where he's working his way through college while supporting a wife and a whole brood of kids. And oh, what a miserable wretch I am. Dobie, can you ever forgive me for not trusting you?
Oh, sure, Dad.
I am such a loudmouth. I hate myself when I go off the deep end like this.
Who don't?
Dad, what about the discount for Bronkowski? What could be more important for kids than having coaches and teachers who'll set a good example for them?
Well, in high school, if I had a coach like him, I'd be even straighter, sturdier, in the pink little chap than I am now. But that sounds impossible, don't it?
It would be a fine, generous act, dear. It would be your contribution to our future citizens.
Well, it's an investment in people, Dad. Please.
Well, who's arguing? Of course, I'm always ready to help some fine, young, upstanding citizen like Bronkowski. What do you say to a discount of 1.5%?
Mr. G, you want to hear what I say to a discount of 1.5%?
Never mind. Okay, 3%.
Herbert.
5%, and that's my limit.
20% is your limit, so we'll settle for 25.
Now, just a minute.
Thank you, Herbert. Thank you.
I feel all warm here inside, and you can't blame me. Everything's working out beautifully. With that discount he got at Dad's store, Bronkowski could afford to quit one of his outside jobs. That gave him more time for schoolwork and football. And when it comes to relieving him of his worries about the kids, well, that's another reason I feel all warm here inside. I'm keeping this bottle heated up for Randolph.
Lullaby and good night.
Dolby, your lullaby singing is improving all the time.
Do you really think so?
There's no question of it. Look.
You're supposed to be practicing.
I am, but I got to worrying about Leon's earache. How's the earache? How's my poor little defensive tackle, huh?
Oh, relax, Bronk. Dobie took Leon to the doctor, and he says his ear is fine.
Great. What about the other ear?
Perfect. He's got 20 ears.
That's my boy. I better get back.
Boy, I'd sure love to see him play someday.
You've never seen him play?
Well, only on the television. You know, with the kids and everything. I never get a chance to go to the stadium.
Well, you're gonna get there tomorrow, and so are the kids. I'll have Dad pick you up in the truck.
Really? You mean it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, wait till Bronk hears about this.
Maybe you'd better not tell him until the game's over.
Yeah, if he knows the kids are up there, he'll keep running up in the stands to burp them.
want you to get out there and give them everything you got. Wilson Tech is tough. But if we play with guts and determination, victory will belong to S. Peter Pryor Iguanas.
Boo-la-boo-la, boo-la-boo-la, boo-la-boo. Just doing my bit for Moralia physical education ship.
Bronk, I was afraid for a while they were going to lose you. But thanks to the efforts of our assistant manager here and his assistant, you made it. That's a great boy you got there, Gillis.
Yeah, blood will tell.
All right, man. Let's get out there and play ball. Coach, do I have time to go home and see how the kids are? Yeah, but be quick about it. Kickoff's in 5 minutes.
Hey, something's wrong.
Oh, say, this is great, sitting right on the bench. Who says it don't pay to send your boy to college, huh? Hey, Dope, there's your mom up there with numerous Gronkowskis. Willie! Hey, Willie! Ha-ha, look at me!
Where's Bronk?
I don't think he came out yet. Maybe he's scared of crowds.
I'd better go get him. We don't want anything to go wrong today.
Oh, especially with Good Luck Gillis on the bench. Come on, let's see.
I gotta get home.
Bronk, you'd better hurry up. Bronk, where are you?
Joe, the coach is yelling for Bronk. They're going to kick off.
He isn't here.
What? Where is he?
I don't know. He just disappeared.
That's like the end of his career. Well, I'll go tell the coach and then like duck.
Maynard, we'll find him.
There's no time, Dad. They'll have to start without him, and that's the end of his college career.
Now, listen, son, I know that sometimes it seems like I'm mean and heartless
And cruel and rotten and selfish.
but I'm going in for Gronkowski.
No,
Look,
thanks a lot.
when a sweet kid like Gronkowski knocks himself out to working and studying and worrying just to get someplace, yours truly, Herbert T. Allhart Gillis, has got to go along with him. Maynard, get me one of those extra uniforms. Look, I'll put his other jersey on. It's got his number on it, 49.
Hey, Dad, listen.
Just till he gets here.
Hey, look, Dad, you
Don't
can't
argue
do it.
with your father. Go out and stall the coach till I can get into this stuff, will you? Come on, Maynard. No, I gotta get out of these things first. Maynard!
Now, this afternoon, team, I want you to do something entirely new. Win! All right, this is it, man. Now go out there and get them. All right, let's go. Come on, go. Gronkowski, come on out here.
Yeah, he's coming, Coach. Gronkowski.
Good luck, Gronkowski.
We'll get away with it, I'm sure.
Hey, there goes the kickoff.
If Dad doesn't catch it.
Come on, Gronkowski, run!
Why is your father walking with the ball?
For him, that's running. Come on, Dad. Bronk.
Oh, you better hide your eyes.
Hey, good thinking. Did they hit him?
Ooh, they hit him.
Here, Dad, smell this.
Did you get the number of that truck? Where am I? Hey, I gotta get back out there.
Dad, you'll never make it.
But Gronkowski.
He's right. We've got to keep Gronkowski in that game or they'll find out he's not here. I'm going into that game and take Gronkowski's place.
Oh, come now.
Maynard. Look, when a sweet kid like Gronkowski knocks himself out working and studying and worrying...
I said that already. Get in the game.
Wilson Tech Tigers are having a fumble and straight down the field for a touchdown. Things look
Where
bad.
is everybody?
They've lost their star player.
Even got the TV on.
49 is coming back in the field. Yes, it's Gronkowski.
Gronkowski? I'm Gronkowski.
All right, Gronkowski's fading back to pass. No, now he's running. He fumbles the ball and recovered. The crowd's going wild.
Ethel! Sherwin! Randolph! What are you doing there? What am I doing here?
All right, boy, take a nice big whiff of this. That's it. Oh, you're going to be all right, son.
Oh, did anybody get the number of that truck? How'd I do?
Crazy, man. You lost 93 yards.
Any sign of Bronkowski?
Not yet. Give me the uniform.
Maynard, you?
Look, when a sweet kid like Bronkowski knocks himself out working...
Maynard, we already said that.
Yeah, and I said it first.
Put on the suit and get out there already.
Bronkowski, the game's out here. Bronkowski, you can't go back in that condition. He must be made of iron. But look at him, he's losing weight on every plane.
Maynard, you're gonna be all right, I think.
Ooh, did anybody get the number of that rhinoceros? I bet those other guys were really scared, huh?
No, they sure were. They were scared they were going to kill you. Well, give me the uniform. It's my turn again.
Sorry, no one's allowed in the locker room during the game.
Take it easy, boy. We'll take care of you. There you are. Get up there. Come on, boys. That's good. Oh, boy.
Okay. There's something fishy going on around here, and I'm going to find out what it is. Bronkowski.
Hi, Coach.
Bronkowski, what got into you today?
I'm sorry, Coach. I just haven't been myself. But I am now.
Let me at him! That's how I like it. Hey, what happened to you fellas? You're a mess.
Here comes Bronkowski now. Only 30 seconds left to play, and the score is 10-6 in favor of the Wilson Tech Tigers. It's bad for the Iguanas. There's the whistle and the kickoff. Bronkowski has it on the 4-yard line. He's got good interference. He's on the 40, the 30, the 20. They can't stop him. He's over. It's a touchdown. There's the gun. The Iguanas win. Fans, I've never seen an exhibition like Bronkowski put on today. He literally has the strength of 3 men.
You can say that again.
Yes! Hooray!
What's the matter, Dad? Does it hurt?
No, only when I laugh.
It just don't feel natural without a number on the back.
Nobody's gonna need a number to identify you at that graduation tonight, Bronk. You're beautiful.
Ah, cut it out.
Well, there wouldn't be any graduation, Dobie, or that new coaching job that Bronk starts on next week if it hadn't been for you kids. Oh, you kids were wonderful, both of you.
Yeah, cut it out.
Bronk, they'll be graduating without you if you don't get a move on. It's almost 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. I put the kids to sleep so good you won't have nothing to do all evening but sit on the sofa.
Oh, wonderful. That's just what we've been waiting for. Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, honey, relax. I was young once myself. I think. Listen, Bronk, I don't think I'm going to go to the graduation. I mean, I think I ought to stay home.
What's the matter, sweetie? Something hurt you? Huh?
No, it's not like that. It's just that I...
What are you trying to tell me?
Does this answer your question?
You just told me. Oh, boy. Another fullback. Or maybe a couple of defensive ends. Dare I hope for an entire backfield?
was attacked, but humble. Come on, boy, get up here and say a few words for your old dad. Let's hear it now, big and
Sure,
loud.
Dad. Vote for Gillis. Vote for Herbert T. Gillis for the Planning Commission.
No, more room. Stir 'em up, shock 'em. Listen to the old pro. A vote for Herbert T. Gillis is a vote against his opponent, Cheever. Cheever is a rascal. Cheever is a scoundrel.
Dad, are you sure this Mr. Cheever's such a rascal and a scoundrel? I've heard he's
He's
kind of
against me, ain't he?
Cheever's a rascal. Cheever's a scoundrel. Here, voters, read all about Herbert T. Gillis, the honest, decent candidate, and his opponent, George J. Cheever, the rascal and scoundrel. Voters,
Keep talking, boy. What are you stopping for? No, what a stupid question. Where is she? Where are you going?
Hello there, little lady. Here to learn about the fascinating world of politics?
Sounds exciting.
Oh, it is. And happily you've come to exactly the right person. I'd be delighted to teach you everything I can. It may take hours far, far into the night, but I shall tell you all about honest, upright candidates like Herbert T. Gillis and rascals and scoundrels like his low-down opponent, George J. Cheever.
You will?
Mais oui, mon petit. You see, I happen to be an eminent authority on the subject. I'm the upright candidate's son, Dobie Gillis.
And I am the rascal and scoundrel's daughter, Betty Jane Cheever.
Talk about luck. I mean, you talk about luck. I wouldn't recognize it if it ran up and bit me. I see so little of it. Here I meet the girl I've been searching for all my life. And who does she turn out to be? The daughter of my father's deadly political enemy.
What difference does that make when a boy and girl meet and they like each other? We do like each other, don't we?
Let's get married. Does that answer your question?
You're real cute.
Yeah.
So you see, we'd be foolish to let a thing like politics come between us. Don't you think?
Don't move. I'll be right back. Dad, that girl.
Okay, son, how much do you want?
No, Dad.
Look, you've been working hard in the store, and you need a little relaxation,
Dad,
boy.
look,
Here,
look.
take a couple of bucks. will you?
Dad, the girl's name is Cheever. She's your opponent's daughter.
Cheever's daughter? What dirty trick is she up to?
I don't know. She seems very friendly.
Oh, that sneaky Cheever taking advantage of a poor innocent boy. Here, son, here's $5. Go down and see if you can worm any information out of her.
Dad, she's not that kind of a girl.
That's what they said about Manta Harry.
Dad, look.
Son, we are going to run this campaign fair and square. Now, you get over there, and if you can get anything out of her about her old man, we'll smear him good.
Dad, I can handle this myself. You're acting like you don't trust me.
Well, of course I trust you. I trust you completely. Like as if you was my own son.
Dad's suspicions about Betty Jane were ridiculous. I took her over to the campus cafeteria for ice cream, and she was very understanding when I tried to explain to her what kind of a man Dad really is, underneath. Now, it isn't easy to explain Dad to a stranger, or even to a friend. Come to think of it, I haven't got the vaguest notion of what makes him tick. Whatever Dad does, he goes all out to win.
My father's an entirely different sort of man. He's a librarian, quiet and reserved. He doesn't seem to enjoy getting out and arguing with people like your father seems to.
Gee, he doesn't sound like the kind of man you'd expect to see running for office.
He isn't. He's only running because he feels so strongly about Proposition E.
Proposition who?
Proposition E. You know, the bill to tear down those horrible old tenement buildings on the north side so that they can put up beautiful new schools and parks and playgrounds.
Oh, that Proposition E.
I can't believe your father hasn't taken some stand on it.
Betty Jane, I know my father, and believe me, I can believe it.
Dobie, I would hate to see the election come between us, but how can your father run for public office if he isn't simply crammed full of information on all the facts and issues?
Facts? Issues? I ignore them.
Well, what about Proposition E?
Proposition who?
Betty Jane was right. You don't have any interest in the basic questions of this election.
I knew we'd have trouble with Cheever. I'm going to have him brought up on charges of premeditated arson or something.
Dad, you don't know anything about Proposition E, do you?
I don't have to. I'm in politics now.
It's a miserable scheme, Herb. Some crack-brained notion they got to tear down the whole north side.
Okay, you got to be kidding. The north side? Why, that's the oldest neighborhood in town.
Dad, it's a slum.
It is not. Some of our biggest industries have their factories over there. The Snappy Buggy Whip Company, Sanitary Whiffletrees Incorporated, Race About Electric Car Corporation.
I was born in that neighborhood. You was too, Herb.
Right, why them time-honored old buildings may be not too fancy, no deluxe trimmings.
Like plumbing?
Never mind. So they ain't got the latest facilities, but it's neighborhoods like that that build character. Why, some of them grand old buildings been standing there over 150 years, and to tear them down would be sheer waste and destruction. And I go on record as being strongly and logically opposed to Proposition E.
In that case, Dad, I don't know if I can support you.
You what?
You can't expect me to support you just because you're my father.
Why not? I support you just because you're my son.
Shame on you, Herbert. Instead of being angry with Dobie, you ought to be proud that he wants to be an independent voter.
Well, maybe you're right, Winnie. Son, I'm sorry I yapped at you. I keep forgetting you're not like the general run of voters, empty-headed, vacuum-brained, lost in a fog.
You rang? I mean, like hi, Mr. M, like hi, Mr. G, like hi, Dobe G, like hi, Mrs. G.
Hello, dear.
Now, there goes a typical voter. No interest in the issues. All they want is noise and fireworks. Watch this. They're going to tear down the north side.
Oh, woe is me.
The old and wonderful historical North Side.
Like a lass and a lack.
Why, certainly. That neighborhood isn't just houses and buildings and streets. Hands off the north side, I say.
Hands off the north side, I say.
Tradition, history, memories.
Hands off the north side.
Right, and they want to tear it down. Are we going to let them?
Hands off the north side.
Right, hands off the north side.
Mr. G.
What?
Where's the north side?
What's the matter with you? It's that neighborhood right up there on River Street.
Oh, yeah, the slums.
Wait a minute, Maynard. That ain't the slums.
Certainly not. It's neighborhoods like that that build character, prepare you for the battle of life, toughen you up, forge you into steel. Hands off tradition, I say.
No, Dad. Betty Jane showed me that it's important to understand what a candidate stands for. It's something I should have figured out for myself.
Hi, Miss Gillis. We're from the Daily Courier.
Hello.
Ah, distinguished gentlemen of the press, welcome.
How about a couple of pictures and maybe a brief policy statement?
Hands off the slums. They build character and force us into stealing.
Maynard, that is forge us into steel and butt out. I have a statement to make. Now, a few words upon the issues. My opponent, Cheever, is a librarian, a do-gooder. What experience does he have to face the cold, hard facts of life? None. Now, when the voters find this out, I just had a great idea. Let us debate the issues on television. Let the voters decide whether they want a namby-pamby thinker or a two-fisted go-getter. And if Cheever is half the man Herbert T. Gillis is, he won't never refuse no challenge.
Okay, Mr. Gillis, we'll straighten out the grammar and print your challenge in the morning edition. Now, how about a little family picture? Mrs. Gillis, want to stand over here next to your husband?
I'm Mulcahy, the candidate's Lot's brother and also his campaign manager.
I'm Manny G. Krebs, and I'm for the slums.
Wait a minute, who are you?
Dobie Gillis, sir.
Oh, the candidate's son. We'll move over right over here, boy, next to your father.
No, sir, I don't think I'd better. I mean, it wouldn't be right for me to pose in the picture.
How come?
Well, sir, I think my father's a wonderful guy, and I love him and respect him, but...
But what?
But what, son? What?
But I've got to campaign for Mr. Cheever.
And stay out.
There comes a time when a fella's got to stand up for his principles. When Dad refused to even listen to those principles and threw me out, well, it hurt my pride. It hurt my self-respect. It hurt.
So much for hearing our side. And remember, vote for George J. Cheever, friends. He's for Proposition E. He's a man of principle, he knows the issues, and he knows the facts.
Not so loud, dear. We don't want to disturb the people who live around here.
Daddy, we've got to let everybody know what this campaign is all about. We're in a rough, tough election. You can't just... Oh, hi, Dobie.
Hi, Betty Jane.
Daddy, this is Dobie Gillis.
How do you do, Mr. Cheever? It's an honor to meet you.
Likewise, my boy. I've heard very good things about you. Yes, very good things from Betty Jane.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, I must have said the wrong thing again, but then I usually do.
No, you don't, sir. At least not about the issues in this campaign. That's why I've come to volunteer whatever help I can give. I'm for Proposition E, and I'm for you.
Well, that's terribly kind of you, Dobie. But what about your father? What does he think of this?
My father and I aren't talking. I've just moved out of the house, by request. Now, what can I do to help your campaign, Mr. Cheever? Just name it.
Dobie, I'm grateful for your support, but I won't let the election come between you and your father.
Well, Dad just doesn't understand.
Well, have you tried to explain this to him?
Sure.
I mean, really explain?
Well...
Well, try it, my boy. Elections and issues are important, certainly, and a young man's enthusiasm is exciting to behold. But none of these things compares even slightly to the bond between a father and a son.
Daddy's right, Dobie. Don't turn your back on your father till you've had a chance to discuss this with him calmly and quietly.
I'm sure you'll listen to your explanation with an open mind. He's a fair man.
Sure, I'll listen to your explanation with an open mind. I'm a fair man.
Thanks, Dad. I was hoping you'd feel that way.
Sure, so start talking, Benedict Arnold.
Herbert, you said you'd be fair.
Okay, I'm fair. Explain already.
Now, in the
Why
first place...
did you do it, son? Why? Have I been a cruel father? Have I been mean to you?
Herbert, let him explain.
Who's stopping him? Explain already.
You see, Dad...
You'd think that I didn't do everything I could to make you happy.
Herbert, let him explain.
Explain.
Dad, I've met Mr. Cheever, and you're 100 times better candidate than he is.
Oh?
Absolutely. He's drab and dull. You're colorful and dashing. He's timid and shy. You're dynamic and forceful.
You see, Winnie, how I don't interrupt the boy when he's talking sense?
You see, Herbert, what your son thinks of you. Now, you forgive him. You go ahead and forgive him.
Sure, son. I forgive you. And welcome home.
Thank you, Dad.
You
Thank
just
you.
felt sorry for Cheever because he's a schnook, because he's dull and drab, and I'm colorful and dashing.
That's right, Dad. That's
because he's timid and I'm forceful.
Yes, Dad.
And because he's shy and I'm dynamic.
Yes, Dad. But there's one important difference.
What's that?
He's right and you're wrong.
And I mean, stay out.
So I made up my mind to move away from home for good and plunge into the campaign to elect Mr. Cheever. I had to prove, especially to myself, that I've got backbone. Yes, my fellow citizens, the issue here is progress or stagnation. Will our town wither and die, strangled by crumbling slums, or will it prosper and grow with Proposition E and George J. Cheever?
Just a minute, laddie. What about loyalty? Can we believe a kid who double-crossed his own father?
Sir, if my father was a candidate for the world's greatest father, I'd be campaigning for him. He's a great guy, and I love him. But he's all wrong on Proposition E, and that's why I'm for Cheever. Hi, Dad.
My guy, Mr. G. Beards the most, huh?
The election campaign went on hot and heavy, in parks and auditoriums and on street corners.
Thank you, fellow citizens and fans of good government. And I promise you that I shall conduct this campaign upon the highest possible level. No insinuations, no innuendos, no name-calling like my sleazy, slinky-eyed, treacherous opponent and his crooked supporters.
But the big guns were saved for the television debates, and they were a smash in at least one way. They even topped the famous Kennedy-Nixon contest. They were louder.
Please, the federal law specifically forbids the use of such language on the air. You understand, Mr. Gillis. Any further outbursts and we may be censored off the air. Now, Mr. Cheever, please continue.
Well, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get right to the heart of the issue by stating bluntly and frankly that I forgot my glasses. Dear, I don't see very well without my glasses.
Let's be honest. Mr. Cheever was not the best speaker in the world. Let's be even more honest. He was the worst. I mean, that audience in the television studio kept looking at the exits like they were waiting for somebody to holler, women and children first. But finally he finished, and then it was Dad's turn. Boy, what a difference. Mr. Cheever's speech meant very little, but Dad's speech, on the other hand, meant absolutely nothing.
Have we lost the pioneer spirit? Do we need facts and figures to tell us what is right? I say no. Mr. Cheever wants to do away with the North Side because it's getting old. Maybe our wives are getting old, too. But do we want to do away with them? No, because we still love them. and they bring back fond memories. And so I shall fight to the death to preserve my right not to throw away my old wife or the old North Side.
Did you hear that double talk and gibberish? You can imagine how the audience reacted to it.
Come down to City Hall. My office door will always be open.
Good night, Mr. Commissioner.
Good night, Mulcahy.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
Hey, Dobe, you'd have been proud of your old man tonight. They applauded and whistled and I keep forgetting he ain't here, the treacherous traitor.
It seems so empty and quiet here without him. Herbert, please go and find our boy and bring him home. What shall it availeth you if you win the election and loseth your own son?
You know how much I'd like to do it, Winnie, but I just can't.
Herbert, there isn't anything that you can't if it will hold our family together. Please go and find him.
You're right, Winnie. No sacrifice is too great for our boy. I'll start first thing in the morning.
Thank you, dear, thank you. You may have to search all over town to locate him.
I'll do it.
You may have to swallow your pride.
I'll do it.
You may have to talk to Maynard.
I'll do it. That ought to prove to you how much I love the boy.
Vote for Cheever, folks. Vote for Cheever. On election day, get out there and exercise your franchise for good government.
Like right. Don't get caught running around with no flabby franchises. Vote for Cheever like he's the most. Like he's the wildest. Like bye. No, negative R. Capital N-O-E. No, I ain't telling.
Telling what?
Where my good buddy Dobie is. I like owe them in blood I wouldn't think. And I ain't gonna rat on my true pal Dobie. I mean, he can like rely on me.
Maynard, please. Where is Dobie?
Dobie who?
Come on, Maynard.
Describe him.
Maynard, this is serious. I gotta see my boy, Dobie.
Dobie who?
Miss, you know where he is. Come on, please tell me. Where's Dobie?
Dobie who?
All right. So after the way I treated him, I don't deserve to ever see him again or talk to him again. I was mean and rude and rotten.
No. You were just a little quick-tempered.
He was right the first time.
Maynard! I agree with you. But, miss, you gotta take me to Dobie. I gotta see him. I gotta make up with him. I just gotta. Come on now. Where's Dobie?
Dobie who?
Oh, coming. But the voters of our city must see for themselves how a rundown neighborhood destroys the morale of everyone who lives in it. Hi, Dad.
Hello, boy.
How's Mom?
Oh, she's fine. Misses you, of course.
I miss her, too. Maynard, you promised you wouldn't tell where I was.
I couldn't help it, Dobe. Did you ever see a grown man cry? It's spooky.
Don't blame Maynard, Dobie. You and your father can't go on acting like strangers to each other. It's terrible for both of you.
That's good thinking, girlie, especially for the Cheever. Dobe, what are you doing in a dump like this?
Oh, this isn't a dump, Dad. It's one of the glorious and historical landmarks of the North Side. The whole place reeks of tradition.
So that's what it is, huh? Everything's so changed around here. It's only a short 35 years. How can a neighborhood change so much in such a short time? Maybe it hasn't changed and everything else has, like me. People still live around here, too, and not just for a couple of days like you, son, but permanently. Live here, bring up their kids here. They gotta play out in those dirty streets and beat up lots. It's a crying shame. Anybody that would raise kids in a neighborhood like this ought to be run out of town.
There's another way, Dad. Give them a better place to bring up their kids.
What can I say, boy? I just didn't give 2 seconds thought to things I should have known all along. I'm selfish and self-centered and mule-headed.
No, you're not.
Sure he is. This whole neighborhood has to be torn down and rebuilt again so the people can live here like people. The old North Side just ain't what it used to be.
You know, come to think of it, it probably never was.
Yeah, Dad, I knew you'd understand. Once you faced up to the facts.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gillis.
Mr. G, you're like a real human being. I don't care what anybody says.
All right. Let's not get all flustered just because I caught on, huh? After all, you know, I don't have to have the roof fall in on me. Maybe it'll help.
My father's a man with a strong, stubborn mind. But never let it be said that his mind can't be changed. It's a cinch. All it takes is for the roof to fall in on him. And that's why when Herbert T. Gillis showed up for the second television debate, he was a different Herbert T. Gillis.
Flame brains, if we allow poverty, disease, and crime to continue running wild just because we want to hold on to something that ain't there anymore and probably never was. So I say, let's all say goodbye to the old North Side. That's yesterday. And let's get out and fight for Proposition E. That's tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I could never have presented such a stirring argument for Proposition E as Mr. Gillis has just done. So I'm withdrawing from the campaign to allow him to be elected unanimously.
Cheever, oh, no, you don't. Don't be a dirty turncoat like me. I withdraw.
Gentlemen, please, no abusive language.
I withdraw.
Cheever, you are an impractical egghead. Why don't you use that egghead of yours for something besides keeping your wrists from flopping together like a couple of cymbals?
Mr. Gillis, for shame. I warned you about the censor. At any rate, the laws of our city do not allow either candidate to withdraw at this time. So the decision must be left to the voters.
Voters, vote for Cheever!
No, vote for Gillis!
No, vote
He's
for
the fighter.
Cheever! I am telling you!
He's the one.
The campaign to elect a new planning commissioner had begun. And what a campaign. It was unusual and different, and, well, what it was ridiculous. I mean, Dad campaigned for Mr. Cheever, and Mr. Cheever campaigned for Dad, and Maynard and Betty Jane and I campaigned for everybody. It's campaigns like this that make you wonder if Paul Revere shouldn't have fallen off his horse.
Yes, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I've just been handed the final tally. Cheever, 1,682. Gillis, 1,683. Gillis wins by 1 vote.
Oh, thank you, friends, neighbors, and fans of good government. The people have spoken by an overwhelming majority.
1 vote? Overwhelming?
Never mind, Maynard. And on this grand and glorious occasion, I have prepared a few words of appreciation. From the rock-bound coasts of Maine to the sunny shores of California, I find
he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow.
Let me say thank you. They haven't sold this many papers in months.
All right, you guys, 4 stand the grammar skates. Stand back, folks. We got a grip of the tree band.
What's going on,
Just past
constituent?
Proposition E, you know.
We know, so.
So we're tearing all this down. We're going to put up some new houses, schools, a shopping center. Take a look at it. This store is part of the 10 blocks that got to come down. Hey, Lionel, rev it up the Franistorm.
Hey, hold it, you kids.
That's what it looks like the main foundation.
Come in here and tear down the